Well, hello. How's it going? Live stream tonight. We're gonna be doing Dungeon Master Q&A, and then some villain creation. It's gonna be awesome. My OBS decided to do some weird stuff at the last minute as I was counting down and I was scrambling. It's weird. It's not showing the chat. It's connected for some reason. My OBS is showing stuff on Twitch, and it's trying to show the Twitch chat and the Twitch stream, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for here. So I don't know why it's doing that, but we're okay. We're in business. Let's do this. So, rules of the road. First part of this is going to be question and answer. You guys throw questions down below, and I will answer them. I'm actually let me get rid of this thing. Goodbye, chat. That looks a little better. So, hashtag question, all question mark. There's actually some text right there that will cue you into that. I have moderators that are dropping your questions into the spreadsheet where I'll be pulling them from. Spamming your questions will not earn you any love around here, so you might not want to do that. Some of my moderators are trying to flag the good questions for me, questions that I should focus on. When you're asking questions, be specific. Give me specific information about whatever it is you have a question about. If you're like, hey Luke, do you have any tips for new dungeon masters? I'm probably gonna just give you something generic, like have fun and watch videos or something, I don't know. So yeah, that's some guidelines for you. We're gonna do question and answer for probably an hour, 2 hours. We'll see how it goes, and then after that, we'll transition into creating some villains together. So it'll be fun. Yeah. All right, let me wander on over to the spreadsheet and see what we got kicking around over here. Questions going on already. Oh yeah. Let's see who's in the chat. We have Guy Farting. Welcome. Guy Farting. So if there's somebody in the chat called Guy Farting, does that mean that I'm okay to do that? If I have to or something? Overclocked 2020 also here. What up, dude? Welcome. Commander 1138 10 There's almost 100 people in chat, so I don't think I can read off all of your names. Philip Ketchup is here. Huber's in the house. Gabriel Allen, what up, dude? Zenanushi plays. Subcycle, what up, David? How you doing, man? Nathan, Toxic, Rick Cooper, what up? Princess Canuda's in the house. Oh, I saw Clam in the house as well. Clam, what up, dude? Clam is one of my patrons. He is awesome. I'm looking forward to hanging out, Clam. Seriously, we gotta make this happen. What is it? Not this Sunday, but the Sunday after this one or something. Whatever we got on the calendar, dude. We gotta make that happen because we keep missing each other, man. Clam, I keep talking to Clam right now. Clam is one of my patrons where he has a one-on-one time with me where we talk and stuff. And so, yeah, we've been having trouble connecting our schedules, but we're going to make this happen. So, yeah. All right, cool. A real lobster with an internet connection. Oh, that's really cool, dude. I wish I had. Sometimes my internet connection totally fails me, and that is not good. Hey, Natalie Spain's in the house. Hello. Well, good to see you again. Ooh, we got some. I see some new folks. I see some old names that I'm used to. That's pretty cool. Tenka, Joey DK, Prince Raven, Gabriel Justy. What up, guys? How you doing? Dead Willow, hello. All right, are we ready to do some questions now? I see questions pouring in. Oh, Jason S. Okay, so he's wondering about the villains. Are we making serious villains or cheesy villains? There's probably going to be an element of both to them, I would suggest. Or I would suspect, just because, I tend to be kind of a serious-ish person, I think, when I'm doing this sort of thing. However, if somebody posts something outrageous, there's a chance that I'm just going to, die laughing and be like, we're doing that. So I think you're probably going to get a mixture of both, potentially. Probably with a tendency to lean toward being more serious, because I do want them to be something that's usable for folks as well. I don't want it to just be oh, here's a bunch of wacky villain ideas that nobody will ever use in their games. That has not as much value, I think, as if we do something actually more serious. So we're probably going to lean toward that. All right. Commander 1138 says so moderators, I love the spreadsheet. I love the color coding. That is really cool. And so I think all I have to do is click the checkbox in the was it answered tab or column, and then that means it was answered. Hello, Clam. Clam's throwing some money around already. What up, dude? Oh, I guess Clam has a question. So I'm gonna finish my answer to Commander 1138, and then I will get to you in a moment, sir. So Commander 1138 says, "What are your thoughts on low magic adventures?" I'm okay with low magic. So you're probably talking about like low magic as in spells and stuff like that. My thought on concepts like that, or any concept for that matter, is probably there's nothing probably inherently good or bad with it. If all of your players like the idea and you're on board with it, you want to do it, your players are cool with it, then I say give it a shot and see if everybody has fun doing it. You know, if like I might not personally enjoy low magic. I don't know. I've never tried it before. But like we won't know until we try it. So talk to your players, get them on board, see if you want to give it a go. And if you're all having fun and you're enjoying it, then rock on. If it's clear that it's not nearly as fun as when like spells are flying around and you have magic items and stuff, well then go back to what's fun, because we're all playing this game to have fun. So, Clam. Okay, Clam's question. Hey Luke, in your opinion, does your villain's motivations actually matter in your games? Do your players care? No, the players probably don't care. I don't think the players care about the villain's motivations. I think the reason that the villain's motivations are important is it's for me, the Dungeon Master. Like, when I'm role-playing my villain and deciding what my villain is going to do and how my villain is going to react to what the players do, that's when it's important for me to know what my villain's motivations are. And then it's gonna, you know, what motivates me, like Lord Paxton. Lord Paxton wants to take over the entire region. So when the players first started opposing him in my Sword Coast Guard game, Lord Paxton sent an emissary to ask them to stop and then to ask them basically to join his side. He didn't want to like just go kill them. He's like, no, you guys, you're pretty powerful. How about we work together? And then they started turning him down and continuing to oppose him. And then he's gonna be like, okay, you know what? Now we're just gonna have to start trying to kill you. You know. So I think motivations are important for that reason. I don't know if players care so much. It's possible if you get some advanced thinking, you know, they might delve into it and then use that, but I don't think that I've seen that a whole lot in my experience. But that's just me. All right, cool. So what's the red color? So red, okay, red, green, blue. So is blue? Okay, blue, got it. So blue is the ones I should look at. Cool. It's funny. Joseph, like, you begin, like, writing your question, then you hit send. That sucks, dude. just retype it. It'll get in the spreadsheet. Overclock 2020 says, "Hi, Luke. I have a reoccurring villain. Let's call him Guapo for now." Where's Guapo? Guapo, literally, Guapos are my cats. Guapo was literally right here rubbing against my leg like 2 seconds ago. I was like contemplating like grabbing him and showing him, but now he ran off. So we'll see. And oh, by the way, I gotta get this big distraction here. Check out my cat cam. I want to show you something. Do you see that box right there? That is a trap. That box right there, I placed that box there strategically for the express purpose of trapping a cat. Like, cats love to get in boxes, and this particular box is far too small for my cats to fit in. And so I want to see if we can catch a cat trying to sit in it and then realizing that his butt doesn't fit. And so we're going to see if we can get somebody tonight to sit in that box, because that'll be pretty cool. All right, I was in the middle of a question. So, overclocked. Reoccurring villain, Guapo. I try to keep alive from players via escaping mid-combat. Any tips on how to do this without it becoming too cheap? No, it's going to get cheap, dude. There is no avoiding it. If you have a reoccurring villain who is always escaping mid-combat, it's going to feel a little cheap unless he just has tons of special abilities that are all about escaping, you know. But but you have to build him that way. Like, you have to build him that way, and it has to become very obvious that, he has Dimension Door. Like, we have to stop his Dimension Door. I have to counterspell that, or he's going to get away. So, I think it's a tricky situation, honestly. And I think the way to set up a reoccurring villain, and because you want him to be reoccurring, you don't want him to just get killed really quickly. And in my experience, the moment that the players come into contact, like actual physical contact, here I am, with the villain, is the moment the villain almost always dies, right? So the way I do reoccurring villains is the players never meet him because the death rate is way too high. The players hear about him. The players get letters that are written from the villain to some of his subordinates. There's rumors about him. They have an emissary that comes and greets them, but they never actually meet the villain, right? There's just this hype that builds up around him, like Lord Paxton, Lord Paxton. They're probably tired of hearing about Lord Paxton, okay? And that's going to make it that much more satisfying when they meet him and if they manage to kill him. Oh, here's Guapo. I got Guapo. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get him for you. Guapo! Guapo. Guapo. He's Guapo. He's Guapo. Yeah, this is Guapo. This is Overclock 2020's villain. Now, really, this guy's not a villain. Look at him, he's adorable. He was starting to get, when you pick up a cat and you can feel them tensing, where they're like, I'm about ready to freak out and claw you. You'd better put me down. I could feel that coming on. He was like, what's going on? All right, hope that helps, Overclocked. Let's see. Next question. Joey DK, any ideas for activities, events, or shows during a winter-themed festival? Oh, dude, I don't know, dude. I'm going to give you my standard answer, okay? If you want to crowdfund cool ideas, Facebook, Reddit, places like that, I think, where else will people contribute lots of ideas? Those are good places to get lots of ideas. An idea for me, I don't know, ice sculptures, ice skating. I don't know, dude. I am not like the idea generator. You don't want to rely on me for generating ideas. I can do it, but I got to think about it. You know what I mean? I got to think about it, get some inspiration and crap, go read some stuff, you know what I mean? But like I'm not going to be able to rattle off a whole bunch of good ideas for you, man. I'm not good at that sort of thing. I'm sorry. It's my failing. I steal. I don't know. Philip Ketchup. Hello, Ketchup. I had ketchup yesterday on some potatoes. It was really good. Have you ever wanted to make a grim, dark campaign? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, let's go with yes. I'm gonna say yes. That's a closed-ended question is what we call those. It's like yes. Hey, the Clam. Hello, Clam. Clam has just become a member. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Clam, you now have a dragon egg next to your name. And the longer you are a member, that egg will begin to open and a head will pop out. And then it'll sprout wings and stuff. And finally, it'll be like flaming and junk like that. It'll be really cool. My camera just went out of focus. There we go. For anybody interested in becoming a member, there is a button here or here that says join. You click that and you're going to see the different perks and benefits that you get from being a member. But of course, you're helping support the channel and everything we do around here. So, which reminds me, actually, there's something I'm supposed to do in all my streams. Let's do that right now. All right, let us thank our wonderful patrons and members. We have right here on the screen lists of my awesome patrons and members. In particular, I want to thank Clammed Oyster. So Clam, thank you. Doubly thanks to Clam. He became a member and now he's also a patron. So he's like double dipping. That's cool, dude. Mr. Lemon Pie, Baoban, Kurt Y, Theta Tag, Son of Sofa Man. I love that name, Son of Sofa Man. Mr. Pages, Jokai, and Joe M. So some of these guys, Baoban, Theta Tag, Son of Sofa Man, Yokai, and Joe M. These guys are all in my Ancient Dragon game. They play D&D with me. That's their perk. So, yeah, those guys are cool. We're going to have fun this weekend. Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right. Sweet. Let's keep moving. More questions. So, like, this is my standard disclaimer. We now have, like, almost 50 questions that have come in. And I am on, like, number 6. So I'm going to do my best, folks. I'm going to do my best. Okay? That's all I can do. Guy Farting. What is up with your name, Guy Farting? Like, that's the type of name that I would create just to, like, call attention to myself. Just, I don't know. That's the type of thing I would do, dude. Totally. I would totally do that. Cthulhu, you're getting drunk? What are you doing, man? It's Friday night. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I actually gave up drinking, like, I want to say 4 months ago or so. So so like not 100%. Like if like I'm at a social thing and there's free drinks, then it's free. But I don't buy it anymore. So like mostly like abstaining. Not for any reason beyond which I just don't want to do it anymore, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I have a compelling reason. Yeah, I have a compelling reason. It might be too private to share on stream, so stop prodding, all right? Next question. A Real Lobster with an internet account says, would you prefer a realistic villain or an over-the-top villain? I'd be okay with both. Because when I'm a player, I'm pretty over the top, and I'm pretty exaggerated. I'm pretty wacky and zany. I probably annoy dungeon masters when I'm a player. So like when I'm a player, I have to like put a leash on myself and be like, Luke, calm down. Luke, don't be the guy that everybody hates you being in the group. So, but I'm pretty over the top. So I think I would probably be fine with an over the top villain. I think it would be fun. I also think a realistic villain would be fun as well, because that's more, yeah, I think I would like both. I think both could be fun for me personally as a player. Well, other people's preferences and stuff, that's other people. There's no right or wrong. That's the thing, like when I say stuff, like it doesn't necessarily mean that what I say is right. It just means that it's my opinion and like my preference. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Kaylin Franzo says, what's the best way to handle loot? I don't necessarily want to have loot in every room of the dungeon, and if I do that, what can I do to fill in loot that's not money or gear? Thank you. Okay, so I have a video coming up, I think in a couple weeks. Maybe it's next week or the week after. That's literally like ideas of different loot you can give out besides money and gear, like magic items and stuff. There's tons of different stuff. You can give out like property, titles, like stores and stuff that they got to mess with. What else? What other ideas I had? I had a whole bunch of ideas in there that had come up with a bunch of different loot. Anyway, I don't know if that's really your question. Your question is how to handle it. So what I do is when I'm creating an adventure, I go in the Dungeon Master Guide and I roll on the loot tables. Okay, and that is how I determine pretty much what's going to be in the adventure. How many times I roll on that loot tables and what they're going to have in there, and then I go through the adventure and I just kind of put that loot all throughout the adventure. I do take into consideration things like it's a magic item. There's a good chance that magic item is going to be with the boss because he's going to want the nice stuff. Unless a subordinate hid it away and, didn't let his boss find out about it. A lot of the treasure is probably going to be in a treasure vault or with the boss or somewhere guarded that's safe, right? But there needs to be cool stuff throughout the adventure as well, because if there's no cool stuff throughout the dungeon, you're disincentivizing your players from exploring the dungeon. If there's, let's pretend that there is a boss chest. Like every time they beat the boss of a dungeon, that's where the chest is, and all of the loot is in that chest. Well, that's a horrible game mechanic, right? I mean, it might work in video games, but in D&D, that's a bad game mechanic because it teaches people to beeline straight for the boss, ignore everything else in the dungeon, kill the boss, and then get the loot. And if you're using milestone, you're done, right? Now, if you're actually counting XP, then you're going to lose out maybe in a lot of XP of all the encounters and stuff and whatnot you avoided. So definitely, I think it's good to kind of like distribute it out. I think that's a good way to do it, dude. That's how I do it. If I thought it were bad, I probably wouldn't do it that way. But there are actually some things that I acknowledge as being bad. I think that I do because I don't have time to do it the right way. I think because that's a thing too, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. Next question. Oh, that's interesting. So Birdie says, I have a group that I just started DMing for, and they're in the habit of talking out of character and metagaming. Any tips? So you pick your battles. Pick your battles. Is it that big of a deal? Is it totally breaking the game? There's in my experience, I see metagaming a decent amount in my game. It's not horrible, but a little bit here and there. And it doesn't break the game. Like, they're not sitting there talking about, like, look, you guys, I just got done reading Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, and like, I know all of these monsters that are in the book, or that are in the game. Like, or they're not like whipping out the module that we're running, which I don't run a lot of modules, and then going through it and stuff. So some of this stuff, it's like, if somebody's like, dude, that's a troll, use fire. Does that break the game? Is that big of a deal? I used to read The Angry DM a lot, like 3 years ago when I had time to read like 20,000 word articles. But one of his things I remember him saying is, if metagaming is breaking the game, then maybe the dungeon master needs to re-examine stuff. Like metagaming shouldn't break the game. Like the game you design shouldn't be broken by metagaming. But I don't know. That's his opinion. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that, but there's probably an element of truth in that for sure. So but pick your battles. If it's not breaking your game, it's not a big deal. Just move on. There are more important things to worry about. I would worry much more about the rogue who is like stealing from the party and potentially going to cause other players in game, like out of game, like in real life, to like hate that crap and get upset and leave the group. I would be much more concerned about problematic behavior like that than I would be about a little bit of metagaming, if that makes sense. All right, Ray Rob. I am running an Acquisition Incorporated campaign for the first time. So am I. Anything I should be aware of that isn't obvious in the book or just good information to know beforehand. So one of the things I think that comes to mind is when you're doing the downtime activities, some of the downtime activities don't actually list difficulty classes, like the DCs for certain things. And they don't tell you that you're supposed to make it up. They just don't list it. And you're like, where's the DC? So it might not be in there. The other thing about the downtime too is use it more. I would be more concerned about using them as guidelines and concepts, as opposed to being too worried about following it word for word exactly how it says to do it. So, if somebody has to make three, what do you want to call it? 3 skill checks on something. If they have 0 successes, they don't get anything. 1 success is a little bit of success. They might get one favor from an NPC. If they succeed 2 times, they get 2 favors or something. Or if the DC, and then just set the DCs according to something that you can spitball the DCs. If you're a low level game and you're level 2, then your DCs might be 13 or maybe 15. So just spitball some of that stuff and use that stuff as guidelines. So I hope that helps a little bit. But I love Acquisitions Incorporated stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Interrobang, you're right. He says the downside to Milestone is getting stuck at one level for too long. That's true. I think it's up to the dungeon master to set reasonable. My cat is not happy that I'm not petting him right now. It's up to the dungeon master to set reasonable milestones for people to hit. If your milestone is okay, you're going to clear out 20 dungeons before you gain a level. That's pretty unreasonable. Dead Willow. What is the best way to avoid burnout as a player and or dungeon master? This is my first stream and I'm happy to be here. Well, Dead Willow, I'm happy that you're here. Welcome to the first stream. What's the best way to avoid burnout? I don't know, dude. It's funny. I've had times when I felt like I was burned out as a dungeon master. And I think that one thing that helped with that was reading the D&D books more. like I'll just start reading the books and then it'll get me excited about the monsters in the game again. For whatever weird reason that helped. Some people say take breaks. I don't know. A break could help. Have your player, if you're burnt out as a dungeon master, have a player run the game. Maybe a player wants to be the dungeon master for one adventure. My cat is climbing on my desk now because he wants me to pet him. Guapo. Jeez. I'm kind of busy right now. He doesn't understand. He's rubbing against everything, making a racket. Have a player take a turn at dungeon mastering so you can take a break for a month or 2 or something like that. If that's what you feel is going to help you. And then after that break, evaluate it. Did it really help you? Did it really get you invigorated to do it again? Or not? I don't know. I would try that. I would try different things. I don't know what the answer to that is, dude. I don't know what the answer to that is. Yeah, sorry. I don't think there's a great answer there, dude. I would just try different things and see what helps. Yeah. I know when I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed and stuff from being a dungeon master, one of my players, Matt, ran some games for us, and that helped me a lot. It's really good as a dungeon master to every once in a while. Well, being a player as a dungeon master is good for various reasons, but one of the reasons it's good to be a player from time to time is that you can stop all of the creation and running the game, and you can just show up loosey-goosey to a game session, relax, and just play. You don't have to prepare for it. You don't have to run the game. You're just there. Hello, I'm having fun. You know, dungeon mastering is extremely fun for me. I'm not saying it's not, but yeah. Natalie Spain, hello. What up? What? I just almost called you Spain. What up, Spain? Hello, Spain. Greetings from the Lair to Spain. How could I best explain to my players the change in initiative system? I'm switching to yours. I tried it a session and they didn't realize what I was telling them. Doing it. So usually, almost always when I try something new, I usually kind of give something of an explanation of what it is, but mostly I tell people, okay, this may not make a whole lot of sense. That's fine. Let's just do it. We'll walk through it, and then after we've done it, it's going to make a whole lot more sense. Most things make sense to people faster when you actually just start doing them, as opposed to explaining how it works. Like, I could explain to you how to play Monopoly, and you're going to be like, whoa, that sounds complicated. But if I just whip out the board and we just start playing it, and I explain as we go, and you get the hang of it, that's going to be such easier, and it's an easier experience than my explaining everything up front. You know, like, these are all the rules of the game. It's, you know what I mean? So I would try that. Rick Cooper, 18. What are your tips for introducing new players? I have them come to a gaming session. I say, hello, this is a new player. This is John. He's going to be playing with us. And, yeah. And then if they're new, like, that's like the introduction to the group. That's pretty simple. But I think what you're saying potentially is the player is... Oh, I forgot to do something. Hold on a second. Whee! I forgot to send a tweet to say that we're live. I just sent the tweet. There, job done. If the person's new to Dungeons and Dragons, I think what it kind of said to the last person, to Natalie, was kind of the same thing. Don't worry about explaining all of the rules up front to a new player. They're never going to get all the rules. It's a hopeless. Okay, what you really want to do is just say, this is the main concept of the game. There's a fantasy world. You are playing one person in that fantasy world. I will describe the world. I'll describe what's happening. All you are responsible for is telling me what your character says and does. That's it. Don't worry about the game mechanics. Don't worry about the dice. When we need you to do something with the dice and game mechanics, we'll kind of walk you through that in the moment. And then as situations come up, you just kind of show them how to do things. And then they're going to slowly pick it up. After they've played a session or two or more, that might be the time where you say, okay, You've been playing for a little bit. There's a lot of things you've been exposed to. Let's just meet purely for me to explain some of these things to you. Because I think that once they've been doing it for a while, things are probably still going to be a little bit muddy, perhaps. But then when you bring them and you start explaining the rules to them, then it's going to be like, yeah, okay, now that makes sense. You know, because then they're going to be able to take their experience and then join it with the rules you're explaining, and I think things will make more sense that way. So that's how I usually will introduce new players to the game. I'm pretty sure I have a video on that. I'm pretty sure it's about 2 years old too, but I do have a video on that. What is your most hilarious moment as a dungeon master? Like, I don't know. I think I always, when I think of like some of the game sessions I had the most fun at, one of them was the one where my players convinced an ogre to help them because they were like going to give him like leg of goat, and they convinced him that the hobgoblins were holding out on him, and so they convinced an ogre to fight on their behalf. And then the ogre went and helped them kill all these hobgoblins, and then at the end, the ogre turned to them and was like, okay, I want my goat leg now. I'm hungry. And then they got him up to the top of a tower somehow, and the ogre had like one of the players by the neck, holding him off the edge of the tower and was like demanding his leg of goat as his payment for helping kill all the hobgoblins. And then one of the players casts a minor illusion of a leg of goat off the side of the tower. And then the player was like, there it is. You have to jump for it. Just trust me. And the ogre, very stupid beast. And the player rolled like a deception check and all this kind of stuff. And the ogre fell for it, and he leaped off. He put the player down first. And then he leapt off that tower, went right through that leg of goat, because it's an illusion, smacked to the ground. And all the players just surrounded him and beat him down. And that was a really amazing game session. I'm pretty sure I made a video on that. There's probably a video about I think it's called My Players Tricked an Ogre. So if you want to check that out. But that was hilarious. Like, that was an amazing game session. That was really, really fun. All right. The Muffin Man. Okay, that's cool, dude. Oh, yeah, you saw that video? That ogre. The poor ogre. The ogre just wanted some leg of goat, man. This is not that big of a deal. All right, let's keep going here. Guapo, will you calm down? Jeez. He's rubbing his nose against my monitor. John Huffman, or Jay Huffman. It could be John. It could be Jack. It could be Jill. What other names begin with J? How would you go about leaving clues? Oh, hello, Guapo. Welcome to the live stream. Is there anything you'd like to tell people on the live stream, Guapo? Guapo is feeling underappreciated. So he has come up to my desk to roll around, probably get cat hair in my coffee, block the camera with his tail. Look at that. What is this? Like, seriously. I have a cat cam. Like, there's a cat cam over here, and he's got to get on this cat cam. There he goes. He just took off. He's a scaredy cat. Somebody made some noise upstairs, and then he ran away. All right, so Jay Huffman. How would you go about leaving clues for a villain who's trying to stay secret? I'm using a beholder for my big bad, so if you could be more specific that way, it would be cool. How do you leave clues if he's trying to stay secret? I mean, so they could letters from the big bad to lieutenants. When they defeat lieutenants, they find letters. I like giving handouts to my players. They could, when players interrogate some of the villains they capture, some of the bad guys they capture, they might, say something like, "Oh, you'll never defeat us. Joby is king around here. You'll never defeat him." And then he never divulges any more information. All they have is a name, Joby. That's it. That's all they know, right? And then, I don't know, man, you just keep throwing out little things. You have, maybe there's a rumor. Maybe they're in an inn, and they're just talking to people, and they hear some rumors about, like, some flying blob. I don't know. Or they come across somebody who, what did the beholders do? They disintegrate people. There's a tale of somebody, who was walking through a field, and then from far off, somebody saw something, move, and then that person just kind of like disappeared. And then when they went over there, it was like a pile of dust or something. So you gotta think of, just brainstorm things like that you could just kind of like sprinkle throughout the game to kind of leave like clues and stuff like that. Because ultimately you want your players to find out about the villain and then confront him, right? You just want it to be, you want to be coy about it is what you're going for. Commander 1138, have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? I think you'd be great at it. That's interesting. I would have lots of fun doing that. Like, just talking to people. Like, I love the Joe Rogan show. Like, that is so much fun. Like, I listen to that a lot. That would be super, super fun. Just bringing on somebody and talking to them and stuff like that. Right now, my constraint over doing any activities beyond what I'm already doing is time. I work a full-time job, and then I create videos, which is very time-consuming for anybody who doesn't make videos. And then I create D&D products. I run like lots of D&D games, so I'm very, very busy. So that the time constraint is the number one thing. Once I can like get enough revenue through all the different things that I'm doing for Dungeons and Dragons to like be able to quit my full-time job, then I can create more content for people. And a podcast might be one of them. But right now it's a question of revenue so that I can not have to work a full-time job and I can just do D&D stuff full-time. Hello, the second guild master. Thank you, sir, for the 20 DKK. What's DKK, man? So I see DKK and like that. I think Donkey Kong. I know that's not true. I'm sorry if that's like disrespectful or something, but I just thought that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I am curious what DKK is. What monetization? Monetary value? Denomination? Currency. Currency is the word. What currency is that? All right. First time DM Monday with Lost Mine of Phandelver. Any tips? Be careful. Be careful. One thing that I think that all new dungeon masters should be aware of is that, one, modules often have stupidly difficult encounters that can easily kill the party, and they don't tell you that. Okay? I don't know if Lost Mines is like that, but I can tell you that Descent into Avernus is just crazy lethal. Like, one of your very first encounters is easily a TPK. I don't know how people get through that crap. And then other modules, I just smoked my desk with my ring. So be careful about the encounters. Some of them are going to be way too hard, and you might need to back off a little bit. Maybe drop a monster or two, so be aware of that. Also be aware that in the early levels 1 and 2 for sure, things get better around 3, but levels 1 and 2, your players' characters are super squishy, and things are going to be super swingy. They might be going against 2 goblins. There might be 4 characters against 2 goblins. If things go like that shouldn't be a problem. But if things go the wrong way at level 1, the goblins hit 2 characters and drop them. And these characters miss the goblins. And the goblins hit these 2 characters and drop them. Like, things could go very wrong very fast when you have no idea that it's going to happen. So that's something to be aware of and be cautious of at low levels. So yeah, be cautious of that and be cautious of, like, dumb module design from time to time. I don't know how else to say it. It's just like, here's an encounter that, a level 5 party could deal with, but no, we're gonna send it to a level 1 party and see how they do. I don't understand that, but all right, that it's a thing apparently. I don't know about Lost Mines of Phandelver. It might not be that bad. I do know the more recent modules are tough. So. Okay, so How to D&D is saying that Lost Mines can be very dangerous. Okay, so it sounds like he's ran it before, and he can confirm that it's dangerous. So that's cool. DKK is Danish currency. Awesome. That's cool. Question, do you have a written consent agreement? I do. What do I know you're talking about? Vernon, what are you talking about? I'm reading chat now. Consent to what? Oh, I just got dropped into the what do you want to call it? the pit of drowning and reading chat. Because now I don't know, you got like threads of conversations going, and I'm just like jumping in. All right, Cthulhu says the Danes use Donkey Kongs as money. Okay, man, that's awesome. Hey, the Locust, what up, dude? Thank you, sir, for super chat. Says, in my game, I have a player who loves to min-max his characters. How can I balance him with the other players who don't min-max also? You pretty much don't. The way to do that, dude, the way that I do that, honestly, is I ratchet things up a little bit for everybody. If the paladin is super OP, and most paladins are, and then the paladin splashes sorcerer, because then he can shield and he's even more hard to hit, and he's a crazy maniac, then you just ratchet everything up a little bit, and they got to deal with it. That's their job. If they're rolling over things because you got some players that have really good, well-built characters, then just ratchet up your encounters, ratchet up things. That's what's the other response? The other response is to give everybody else something to make them more powerful, to put everybody on the same level, but you're still ratcheting up your encounters, and then you're also trying to somehow balance these classes with... I don't think there's such a thing as a balanced class in D&D. If you look at the classes, there are some of the classes that are clearly more powerful than others. So I don't know that the idea of that all being balanced is even a thing. And so if you have somebody who's min-maxing it and others that aren't, that's, yeah, I would just ratchet things up, dude. Otherwise, you're making your life way too complicated. Or you go to that player and you're like, I need you to not do that thing. But the problem with that is that lots of players like that it's fun to them to create a character that's really powerful, and that's the juice for them, And so if you have them not do that, you're stealing a little bit of what makes the game fun for them. So that's rough. I do have players who min-max. I make fun of some of my players that min-max, and they know that I make fun of them for it, But I don't change. I just make everything harder, and everybody's got to deal with it. And it works okay. It's not a problem. Has never failed me yet. All right, Dead Willow. Well, okay, what up? What is that? Oh. Hello. If someone would do fan art for the channel, what platform would you have a better chance of seeing it? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. So if someone did fan art for this channel, where would I have a better chance of seeing it? Well, I would not see it on Reddit. I do not hang out on Reddit very much. I do not have a very fond opinion of the general way that people get treated over there. So let's just put it that way. I don't hang out on Facebook a whole lot. I'll tell you what, if you put it on Twitter and then tag me, like @mention me, I'll definitely see it. If you put it on Instagram and @mention me, I'll probably definitely see it. So I think the answer, or put it on Discord, my Discord server, link down in the description, and then @mention me, I'm gonna see it. I think the real answer is just to @mention me wherever you put it, and then I'm probably gonna see it. Yeah. You gonna draw like the barbarian or something? That'd be fun. The dumb barbarian. Oh yeah, barbarian for president 2020. That was my last video. Everybody's like, barbarian for president 2020. That'd be awesome. I'm looking at chat now. Yep. Discord link is down in the description. Lots of links down in the description. Gary the Intern. Oh yeah, do fan art for Gary the Intern. That's awesome. Yeah. Ba-doom. All right, next question. Cyrox Banshee. When do you draw the line on player deaths? When the dice roll it into question. Do you let the player die, or do you whiff the roll? This happened to me in session 1. I was Okay, so I'm going to just apply some interpretation to that. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Sorry. Basically, I do not spare my players from death. I do not do that. They're if well, no, I should back off on that. I do sometimes back off on certain encounters. There have been times when I came in way too hot on an encounter and it was going to be a TPK for sure, and that was not I never wanted it to be that challenging. It was just supposed to be a fun little encounter, and then holy crap, how does this happen? And so I have backed off on some of those before. So, but I don't, but it has nothing to do with the dice. It has nothing to do with like fudging dice or anything. I definitely don't fudge dice and whiff rolls. It never comes to that. Did I make a video about, I think I made a video about how to like cultivate the game experience. Oh, easy or deadly. There was a video about a month ago. The thumbnail says like easy or deadly. I forget exactly what the title of the video is. But I talked about this, and ways you can like back off, make things easier, make things harder. So, but I don't fudge dice. However, that said, like there are times when I'm not gonna back off on them. I'm not gonna back off on them. When they make a very bad decision, I play it to win. Like for instance, my Sword Coast Guard group, I want to say, was it last time we played or the time before we played? Anyway, a couple sessions ago, my Sword Coast Guard group, they went into they were in the middle of a dungeon. They left to take a long rest because they needed one, and it was a big dungeon. So I think a long rest was okay. I wasn't trying to punish them. It was reasonable to take a long rest because it was a big dungeon. So they left the dungeon to take a long rest. during that time, the occupants of the dungeon figured out that, holy crap, we're being invaded, and there are dead bodies everywhere. We need to figure out what's going on. The occupants basically figured out what was going on, and they had good reason to suspect that this is the adventuring group, the Sword Coast Guard, come to kill us, because they've been murdering everybody else in our organization, so it's got to be them. And they set up an ambush, and it was a big ambush. And my Sword Coast Guard group kind of walked into it. You know, they were being cautious, but they still sprung the ambush, and it was still a big, huge ambush. And I played that battle straight. Like, there was a moment when it looked really bad for my players. Like, I was thinking, my players are going to TPK. I think they're all going to die. And there was that critical moment where, as in a dungeon master, I was kind of like, all right, do I back off a little bit, or do I just go for it? And I was like, no, you know what? I'm going for it. There's got to be a moment where, like, you just go for it. You know, not every time, but like this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best, given the combatants that are here, their intelligence, their tactics, and everything that they have available to them. I'm going to do my best to kill them, you know? And it was a rough battle. It swung back and forth, and my players spent a lot of resources, but they pulled out of it, and they won. And I'll tell you what, like, after that game session, like, we're done, and they were like, holy crap, that was fun. Because it was a huge challenge, and it looked like they might lose, and you know, but then they swung back, and then they ended up winning. And that was like immensely satisfying because things looked really bleak. And it was more satisfying too because they know that I've killed them all before. I've murdered them all before. We've had a TPK before. They know that I will do that. And there have been other times where things were super close. And so they know that it's not just a tease. They know that I'll follow through with that. And the fact that I went all out and they came through and won, that gave them a sense of accomplishment because they knew it was real. They knew that death really was like that close to catching up to them all. And so that just made them feel good about that. So that's a very long-winded answer. I hope that somewhat touches on your question there, Cyrox. Dan the Man, what does your computer setup look like? What does my computer setup look like? How can I show you my computer setup? Well, so I guess I can actually use the cat cam to show you my computer setup. It's not going to look very good on camera because I usually prepare the background and the lighting and my face for camera. My computer setup is kind of a slobby mess, to be honest with you. You know, but let's go to the cat cam and I'll show you the computer setup. It's just a couple monitors. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't have anything bad that's going to get shown to you. Hold on. There you go. I'm going to hide the spreadsheet. Here it is. So there is like there's a monitor right here with OBS going, okay, with the chat right there. Over here is the other monitor. This is where they have the spreadsheet. Right here is the Brio camera right there. That's the main camera. Right up here is my microphone. This is, what is this thing? This is the Yeti, the blue Yeti microphone right there. I have a little bit of lighting right here. I have a bunch of lighting over there. This is all like indirect lighting. This all bounces off the ceiling and stuff. And then there's some more lighting over there, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the computer setup. I think that's what you were asking. There's my ceiling. That's my computer setup for, yeah, I don't know, a couple monitors. It's not a big deal. I don't actually have a very decent computer. I have I think my computer's like 8 years old. I need to get a new computer because when I'm video editing, it cannot keep up with me. It is very much slowly. It's very much slowly. It's like too slow. I need to get a new computer. I need to get a computer made for video editing with like a solid state drive. Yeah, I definitely need to upgrade a computer because one of the things I want to do too is I want to get I would like to get a 4K camera as well. And there's no way my rig right now is going to handle that. It's not going to happen. I don't actually want to produce videos in 4K. I think full HD is fine, but here's what happens when I'm doing my videos. So like if I frame myself like this, you know, I like crop my videos to hide the jump cuts. Like that's what you see my head go from, when you see the camera perspective change and stuff, it'll come out, it'll come in, it'll go from left to right in my videos. That's because I'm hiding my jump cuts. Like, I don't show the jump cuts. I don't, if that makes sense. I'm not going to explain all that stuff. That's too much. Anyway, but the point is that when I crop in like that, because I'm not using a 4K camera, I lose some of my resolution, and I don't like that. Probably nobody really notices that unless you watch my stuff on a big screen TV. Like 50% of people watch my videos on their phones, according to YouTube, and you're never even going to notice that. But if you watch it on a big screen TV, you're going to notice the loss of resolution. And I'm kind of like a production quality snob a little bit, and I'm always looking for ways to improve my production quality because I just want to make it better. I like doing video and making it look good. So that's something I'm interested in. But that's my computer setup. Blake Hilliard says, how does Bardic Inspiration work in your initiative system? It works the same way that it's always worked. Somebody can give Bardic Inspiration to somebody and they can use it whenever they want. If you had something specific you were driving for, then I would post a follow-up question so I can give you more detailed information. But I would say the same as normal, unless I'm missing something. Julie Nunziati. I hope I got that last name right. I'm brand new as a DM and I ended up with 9 players because no one else in my area runs games. How do you handle scaling encounters? I almost killed everyone session 0. Julie's showing them who's boss. So, I have 2 recommendations for you. I will answer your question eventually. My first recommendation for you, well, it's possible that not all 9 players will stay forever. That's a lot of people to have in a group. That's a lot of people to have in the group. You're probably going to end up losing people that might not be super interested, or just because of the complexity and difficulty of running a group that big, you might get people, because you're going to have so much time where people aren't doing anything because somebody else is doing something and it takes so long to get to them that you might have attrition just due to boredom, right? That's a lot of people to have in a group. So you might end up losing people, which makes your group smaller, which makes it easier to run, and then your question is moot, right? My suggestion to you, I'm like answering a question you didn't even ask. My suggestion to you is going to be to run 2 groups. It'll be much more satisfying to all of your players if you split them into 4 people in this group and 5 people in that group. And then you're going to be able to run a better game for them. It's more work for you, it's twice as many sessions for you, but the game experience will probably be better for them. Especially considering you're a brand new dungeon master. Like, running a big group like that, like, there are dungeon masters that can do that. There's no question about it. Most dungeon masters who can do that, it's because they have experience. As a new dungeon master, that's a rough job, running that many people. Now, to answer your actual question, how do you handle scaling encounters? I almost killed everyone at session 0. So a rough, I don't know, dude. Like, okay, so let me show you this. Stand by. Where is this? Where am I doing? This guy right here, I would recommend using this to spitball, okay? This is an encounter difficulty. I'm gonna drop a link to this in chat. Hey, Julie, thank you for becoming a Wormling Dragon. I appreciate that. Julie is now a member. She has a little egg next to her name when she posts. So, Julie, what I would recommend doing is using this right here. I think I dropped a link to it. And the way you do this is if you have 9 players, you're going to put the number of characters in. Let's pretend they're level 1. I don't know. And you're going to calculate it. And then you're going to put some monsters in. Let's pretend we have goblins. I think goblins are like, 1/4 CR? And you have 10 of them. Calculate it. That's a deadly encounter. So that's deadly. I could easily kill them, especially at level 1. So don't do 10. Let's do 5. Hey, that's an easy encounter. There you go. Do 5. Especially at first level. At low levels, what you want to do is use easy or medium encounters. Don't use hard or deadly, because things are too swingy at low levels. So low levels, make it. And here's the other thing: until you get the hang of things, I would balance everything a little bit easy or medium for your gaming group. Until you get a feel for what your players can do and what they can handle, and you get more experience as a dungeon master, I would make things a little bit easier, right? I would rather come in a little bit too cold and too easy until I get the feel of my players and then ratchet things up a little bit, as I'm gaining experience and stuff, rather than come in and be like, boom, you're all dead. So that would be my preference. Although there is a time and a place for throwing stuff at them that's crazy hard. I would just wait to do that until you get a little more experience and stuff like that. So I hope that helps a little bit. Oh, you chose Strahd. Yeah, Julie, Strahd can be a tough module just because of the open sandboxy nature of it. But that said, Julie, like Strahd is one of the best modules I think 5th edition has published. So there's always that. You definitely picked a good one from that standpoint. Like if you had picked like Princes of the Apocalypse, I would have been like, no, why did you pick that one? What else is bad? What other ones are really bad? I don't know. I should probably not let's just list the worst module. That's probably not a constructive exercise, let's say. Yeah, Strahd is awesome. Totally. Okay, so Overclocked 2020 says, how has AKA Copa been treating you? You struggling, or is everything fine for you? Nothing. So like the Copa rules or Kappa rules, or whatever you want to call them, that has not affected me at all. That, for right now, nothing's affected me because I do not create content for children. Somebody just dropped something upstairs. So children, as defined in the Copa rules, is people under 13, so 12 and under. None of my content is geared for 12 and under. None of it. It is geared. What age range? Maybe high school and above. Like what content is going to appeal to like a 12-year-old or 11-year-old? Like they're not going to watch me. Like I'm just like an old man, old boring man. They probably don't want to watch me talk. So that's my guess. So my content is definitely not made for children. It is made for young adults, teenagers, let's say, or like people in their 20s and 30s and stuff like that. So none of my videos are made for kids, and thus theoretically nothing should happen. Nothing should affect me. So far I'm okay. Nothing. I have not noticed anything different since they turned everything on, at the beginning of January or whatever. So we'll see. But I mean, it's not in YouTube's best interest to screw over creators. It's really not. Because if they screw over creators and they lose creators, then they lose their money. Because we're the ones that are creating the content that is like bringing people to their platform so they can get eyeballs on advertisements, which is how YouTube makes their money. And so if we get screwed over too hard and we leave their platform, they lose their money. They're not making money. So it's in their best interest to help creators and keep creators happy. So I have some faith that they're going to figure things out. And maybe not for everybody. Their hands are going to be tied a little bit by legalese, but I think they're probably going to do what they can. Hopefully. All right. Gabriel Justy, what characteristics make you want to block someone when he or she asks to join in your game? Okay, that's a good question. One overarching rule I have for all my players is that they need to contribute positively to the game environment. That is a very broad rule. That is a very generic rule. But a lot of things fit in there. Contributing positively to the game environment. I mean, if you're doing that, if you're generally contributing positively to the game environment, that's pretty cool. I like that. And but if you're not, if I can immediately see that there's a problem, and here's the other thing too. I don't just invite people into my gaming groups cold like that. I have a system, I have an on-call system whereby when I have usually 5 players in a group, but I also have some players that aren't regular players. And when a normal player can't make the gaming group, I reach out to these guys and somebody comes and plays for that game session. Therefore, we are getting to know 3 people or something. We're getting to know some other people because they're being invited to play. And then what happens is when one player leaves permanently for whatever reason, we have some players that we've been playing with that we know, and we can say, hey, these guys have been playing with us. Which one of these guys do you think would be the best fit for our gaming group? And then that person we invite in. So that is the system that I have fallen into, because I have just brought in people cold, and it turns out to be bad. Like I've had one or two players that when they left, there was a collective sigh of relief. Well, one of them got kicked out. One of them left of their own volition, but was probably pretty close to getting kicked out. But there's been a collective sigh of relief when problematic players leave the gaming group. Everybody enjoys the game so much more. Everybody has so much more fun. And then you ask yourself, why didn't I deal with this sooner? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, you definitely want to have some characteristics. I have some other simple things too. What else do I look at? So like in my gaming groups, like we're adults that play. So I do have one gaming group that I play with. Like they're like, how old are they now? They're like 14 years old. They're like in 9th grade and stuff, I think. They're my youngling group. So I do that, but that's a specific game. They're all like, kids or whatever, or teenager. They're teenagers now. They're all teenagers. But that's a specific case. My other groups are adults. And so like I don't think I would play with minors, because I think there's too much risk there. There's too much risk. There's a danger there, unless the group is just for minors. And so, yeah, that's a thing. Because I had a player come once, and he was a minor, and we were at a game shop and stuff, but I was like, am I gonna feel comfortable? Like, we're a bunch of adults. We're in like our 30s and crap. Like inviting, and we play at a player's house. So am I gonna invite like a minor to come play at our house? There's too much risk there. That's not gonna happen. Sorry. If we always played at a game shop, maybe a little different. The other thing too is like, do you have transportation? Can you be reliable? Can you get there? Like one dude was reliant upon his mom and dad to bring him to the game sessions. He was like, he came once, and I'm just like, that's not maintainable. Like you can't be regular. Things are gonna come up. There needs to be a level of like, you can generally make all of the games. There needs to be that level of commitment. Otherwise, why? If you're not there most of the time, you can't be a player in the game if you're not there playing. So there are basic logistical considerations too that I think about when I'm pulling somebody into the game. So there is some logistic stuff. This might be controversial, but I avoid having couples in a game. I avoid that. That has been hit and miss for me. Once I had a couple in the game, no problem whatsoever. And then I've had some other couples in the game, not a good idea. Bad. It just caused more problems than it was worth. So that might be controversial. I'm okay with that. But in my experience, it can be a problem. So I avoid. And the other thing with couples is if one of them leaves the gaming group, if they're moving or something, you're probably going to lose 2 players, and now you have to replace 2 players. Or what if? So like, let's pretend you have a couple, and like the girl is a great player, but the guy is like a problem, and he has to go. He's bringing the entire group down. That dude's got to be dealt with. He's got to leave that group. There is no way in that scenario, like, you're not going to lose both of them. Like, how are you going to kick the guy out and then the girl's going to keep on playing with you? Guarantee you that you're going to lose both of them. And so it introduces like this situation, So I don't know. I feel like that's controversial, but like it avoids headache to you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe I'm a jerk, but I just don't want I don't want to have to mess with that stuff, man. I don't want to mess with that stuff. All right, there's your answer. This is another problem I have, you guys. Like, I get tons of questions, and then I give these in-depth, long answers to them, and that makes it harder for me to answer all the questions I get. I should just give short, like, 2-word answers and just plow through all of these things. That would be awesome. All right, keep moving. What we got? Oh, we've been doing this for an hour now. Awesome. Oh, wait, what did this? Julie says, hubby is afraid I'll kill his barbarian if he makes me angry in real life. Oh, that is so awesome. I would totally. That's really cool. I used to play with my wife. My daughter, and I we played for a few game sessions. I played for a couple of years with my daughter. That was lots of fun. Then my wife joined us for a little bit. You know, that's a legitimate concern. What was it? One of my so I have the lady who makes some of my maps, who's going to be making. I hope she's going to be making my dungeon maps for my Kickstarter that I'm kind of working on. But she was tweeting the other day about starting up a new game in, what's the name of that game world? The one with like airships in it and stuff. What is that called? What's the game world with airships in it? Someone help me. Airships and House Caneth and all that kind of stuff. What's the name of what's that game world? You guys all know this. Somebody's got to type this in chat. Cat cam. There's nothing on the cat cam. Not Warhammer. It's not Warhammer. Eberron. Thank you, Eberron. Okay, so she was saying how she was starting up a campaign in Eberron, and she's the dungeon master, and her husband is one of the players. And what was it? I tweeted something like, that's really cool. You should TPK them all. And then she showed that to her husband, and her husband told her to stop watching my videos. So that's fun. That's really cool. All right, let's keep going. Reaper's in the house. Hello, Reaper. Reaper is a member. Got sporting the cool little dragon right there. Oh, Karen Swanee. Welcome to the Adult Dragon membership tier. Good to see you, Karen. Are you still with us, Karen? Drop something in the chat. She's got to have the dragon next to her too. Got to get all these little dragon eggs next to people. That's cool. These things they grow. Look at Joe M. See how Joe M's dragon is like beginning to break out of the egg? That's cool. I commissioned those little dragon eggs with somebody I met at a convention. She does really good work. All right. How am I doing with questions? I should keep answering questions. Cameron Cummins. Sorry, one of those two. Sorry, buddy. Says, new DM here. Any tips for running Waterdeep Dragon Heist? I ran a short adventure that I made, but this will be my first pre-made one. What kind of stuff should I focus on while preparing? I'm not going to lie, dude. Waterdeep Dragon Heist is probably not the adventure that I would pick for a new Dungeon Master. But you've already bought it and you're already going there, so I'm not going to tell you to stop. I'm just going to say that there are certain elements of it that are challenging, in my opinion, if I were a new Dungeon Master. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, that said, like, if things are a little rough, feel good about that because, you know, you're taking on a kind of a complex, more challenging module, you know, and so, you know, it's okay, you know, just relax, you know, don't get too worked up if things are a little rough. So that's a hard one. The things I would prep, the thing is that there are lots of scenes in there that don't just have a dungeon that you explore. Like prepping a dungeon where there are different rooms and stuff, that's not that hard. That's easy. I can give you some tips around that. I think I have a video about that. I'm pretty sure I made a video not too long ago about how to prepare for a dungeon, how to prep to run a large dungeon. Running large dungeons. The video is about running large dungeons. A lot of the advice I gave for running large dungeons applies to small dungeons as well. But for Waterdeep Dragon Heist, you have scenes that, like, the players are going to be investigating something, and I won't try to give any spoilers here, but the players will be investigating something, and there's like some clues, and then based on those clues, they can go to like any number of different places, and each of those is a scene that has lots of interactions with different NPCs and stuff like that, and based on the clues they get there, they can go to different scenes. It's kind of like a murder mystery type thing. I don't think it actually does have to do with a murder, but anyway. That scene can be a little complex to run, and you got to prepare all of that stuff. I would read it, I would take some notes, and then I would say, feel free to wing things as needed. Don't feel too beholden to having to stick to the module and what's exactly literally written in the module. Okay, so I would say that. Those are some tips for you. I hope that helps a little bit. All right, checkbox there. PJVC says, do you support the idea that DMs like MM? Who's MM? Matt Mercer? Okay. I was like Monster Manual. When I see MM, I think Monster Manual. But I'm going to guess that in the context you're talking about Matt Mercer. Do you support the idea that DMs like Matt Mercer have to make death more meaningful in D&D since it's really easy to revive after level 5 and double to after level 9? I don't know how Matt Mercer stands on that. It doesn't really matter to me. What's my opinion on it? Making death meaningful. How do you make death meaningful? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Does that mean there needs to be like some special scene where you die? Or it's not okay to just die to a random mook? Does it mean that there has to be some big, huge battle and that's when you die and you have to make it meaningful? I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, why does death have to be super meaningful? Like you are role playing. You're running in a game world where you're constantly in combat. You're constantly fighting people with swords and deadly spells and stuff like that. I feel like death is probably going to be more common than it actually is in 5th edition. So I don't know that it needs to be meaningful. My players die all the time. It's rarely meaningful. When they die, it usually means they made a bad decision, or the player or the monsters were really tough, and then the player died, and that's what happened. And yes, they can revive him, but it's rarely meaningful. It's mostly just crap that sucks. Hey yo, can you cast Revivify on me now? Thanks, dude. I owe you one. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Next. PJVC says, do you browse Reddit for D&D memes or post and create them yourself? No, no, and no. I'm not even familiar with too many D&D memes or memes. How do you say it? Memes or memes? I don't even know. That's how much I pay attention to that stuff. And I almost never go on Reddit. People on Reddit apparently don't like me. I mean, when I would interact on Reddit back in the day, like the community seemed to not like me very much. They're just very, very negative and critical and just everything. So, like, yeah, Reddit's probably not my friend. At least they were never friendly to me. Let's just say that. Let's leave it there. Owen Keenan says, if I only have 3 players, it's still been enjoyable, but I feel like without having enough players, it's not quite a complete D&D. Suggestions. I've tried giving them 2 each. Helps combat, hurts role-playing. It definitely will hurt role-playing. And you're absolutely. Helps with combat, hurts role-playing. Find more players, dude. So check this out, dude. Like, the part where you say that you feel like it's not a complete D&D, I disagree with that. I think playing with 3 players can be a completely enjoyable, fine experience. There's nothing wrong with that. I've played D&D with 1 player before, and it's been totally fun. So I think that 3 is not a horrible number. Personally, I like 4. I think 4 is a really great number. I don't think anything's wrong with 3. I think you're still going to have lots of fun with 3. But if you feel like you want to have some more to get the feel of what it feels like to have more players, then find some more players. So one of the ways you get players on Reddit, there's an LFG looking for group subreddit. That's not a bad place to find players. So I'm like contradicting myself. I'm like talking bad about Reddit and then I'm recommending Reddit as a place to find players, but it's true. And there are actually, you know what? I made a video about finding players in D&D. It's a couple years old, but it has all of my standard recommendations. So I would check that out and then find some more players, dude. I play with strangers, man. I just go out and grab people just like on the street. I'm like, you're playing D&D. Most of my players did not start out as friends that I knew in real life. They started out as strangers off the internet that I just were like, play D&D, and then you become friends. And the great thing about that is that you get more friends. And that's really cool. Okay, here's what's going to happen right now, ladies and gentlemen. I have drunk a copious amount of coffee, which has biological ramifications. So I'm going to take a intermission, and I'll be back in like 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, and we're going to continue the Q&A. But Luke's got to go to the bathroom right now. So I'll see you in a second. Oh, let's put some music on. Let's put some kicking music on. It's probably not that good. Cut the music. All right, there we go. We're back. Sweet. Let's keep rocking. I'm back. Yes, Tenka, I'm back. Did I wash my hands? Yes. Yes, I did, Melkuth. Thank you. Thank you for drawing attention to that. It's good. It's good. All right. Let's keep going here. Dude, we got lots of the same folks from the beginning. You guys keep, like, Huber's still here. Hubbard, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Natalie Spain's still kicking around. The Real Lobster. Oh, that made me hungry. Now I'm hungry. You guys, I started this week eating, like, almost exclusively, like, vegetables and stuff. Like, lots of potatoes mixed in with other vegetables and stuff. And I got to tell you what, I am hungry all the time. Like, I'll eat like a big old mess of potatoes and then like an hour later I'm hungry again. It's supposed to, like, you know, help you lose weight and crap because I'm a little bit fluffy. But man, I'm hungry all the time. So lobster sounds really good right now. All right, let's keep looking at some questions here. I want some lobster. No, I don't want lobster. I want some nachos. Some nachos with like refried beans and beef and cheese and chimol. So chimol is kind of like pico de gallo, only that's what we call in Honduras. That's what I want, man. Oh, y baleadas. Those are good. All right, Gareth says, Gareth Nobrega says, have you used a reputation system in your games with factions? How do you run them if so? Yes, I do use I do have a faction favor system. How about I just show it to you real quick? Give me a hot second and I'll just show you how I do it. I'm gonna pull up OneNote. Stand by. Let me use it. Let me see. I want to find a good one that I can show to you. You know, I could probably show you the one from my Sword Coast Guard game. Let me show you there. Okay, hold on a second. Let's take a look over here. So this is OneNote that I use. This is my faction favor system. See if I can zoom in a little bit for you. So this is my faction favor system that I use. This is my Sword Coast Guard group, And there are different factions here, and I track their favor. And you can see that they're doing really well with some people, and they're doing really poorly with other people. Lord Paxton, oh no, that's not right. Their favor with Lord Paxton is like 0 right now. We're changing that right now. That is totally not true. Lord Paxton's trying to murder them. Okay, we should change that. There, don't tell them I did that. And the way this works basically is on a scale of 0 to 20 is the favor. At 0, they are mortal enemies. 5 enemies, neutral, friends, and champions. And there is some text there that kind of explains like what that means and stuff like that. And so basically every adventure that my players do results in favor of one sort or another. It usually positively impacts their favor with one group and negatively impacts their favor with another group. You will notice over on that chart that some of those groups are the enemy because I'm tracking how much they interact with the enemy and if they're doing things to oppose the enemy or not. Like I think there were some groups over here that were, so Mephistopheles, they didn't do a whole lot around him, and so it didn't impact it a whole lot. Lord Paxton and the Drazovanites, their favor has gone down a lot because they were constantly like attacking and killing them. So yeah, I track favor for both the good groups and bad groups, and that determines things. Like they get assassination attempts from Lord Paxton. Just random people will show up to kill them that were sent from Lord Paxton because their favor is 0, and they're mortal enemies. So that's the favor system I use. So yes, I do use the favor system. That may or may not be similar to what's in the Dungeon Master Guide. I'm pretty sure that there's something in the Dungeon Master Guide about favor and stuff. I may or may not have just stolen it. I don't know. Or I may have made that up. I have no idea to what extent that's an original system. But that's how I do it. All right. We're okay. I got to find my spreadsheet now. Birdie says, the new group I'm DMing for aren't talking in character at all. And what they do and say aren't in line with their character. Any tips? So like talking in character basically means that I don't have a problem with people not talking in character. I set the example of talking in character, like I talk in character all the time when I'm role-playing NPCs, but I'm not going to force a player to do it. The way I see it is that if I'm setting the example and other players are doing it, and there's a player who's not doing it, all right, that's that player's decision not to do that. But if everybody's doing it, it does make that if everybody's doing it and I'm setting an example by doing it, it could be using funny voices, special voices or not. It doesn't matter. But if I'm setting the example, at least I'm letting people know that this is okay to do this and this is a safe place to do this. Okay. So set the example. This is the first thing you can do. But if they don't want to talk in character, I would not push for that. I don't think it's necessary. And what they do and say aren't in line with their character. This is one of those battles I'm not going to fight, honestly. Like, who am I as the Dungeon Master to decide that what that player is doing is or is not in line with what their character would do? Like, who is the best judge of what their character would do if not the player playing that character? I am not going to step in and like take away their agency or tell them that they should do something or they shouldn't do something. That's not, even if I think it's out of character, I'm probably just not going to do anything about it because I'm not going to fight that battle. It's their character. If I don't think it's in line, like who am I to say that it's not in line? Maybe their character is changing a little bit or something. If they're jumping all over the place, like if you have a paladin at one moment that is like protecting the innocent and the next moment going off and murdering innocent children, okay, yes, that's like, you might want to talk to him and be like, what's going on here, dude? Like, not like say you shouldn't do that, but just have an honest conversation. Dalinor, I've noticed that you are a champion of good and justice, but you also were going over there and killing those kids. Like, what's going on with your character? Like, what's going on inside your character that he's acting in ways that seem contrary to each other? Have your player explain that. There might be an actual explanation for that. Or your player might just be like, oh, that's a good point. I might bring up a conversation about it and ask them what's going on from like an honest point of view of honestly wanting to understand what's going on. And that might be as far as I go with that. I don't know. It depends on how grave it is. I don't think that I've ever encountered that situation so grave that I felt the need to like put my foot down. You know what I mean? So that's all I got. Philip Ketchup says, how do you consider D&D a hobby, art, experience, etc.? How do I consider it? I don't know how I consider it. I I do consider it to be, it is a hobby. I think there are elements of art to it, yes. I think that it is something cool to experience. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but if you have a follow-up question, I'm happy to answer a follow-up question. But based on what you wrote, that's what I got. Sorry. Mr. Pages. Hello, Mr. Pages. Mr. Pages is one of my patrons. Good to see you, buddy. Thoughts on the current potion system in 5e? Good, bad, don't care. Probably don't care. Like, there are potions in there. You know, how does the system work? Whereby you drink a potion and it has an effect? I think that's fine. Do I think there could be a greater variety of potions? Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm actually, so for the Kickstarter that I'm working on, I'm kind of theming it around the Fae. And there are hags there's going to be a theme around hags in the Kickstarter as well. And so one of the things that I'm working on is a sort of potion system where it kind of has to do with tables where there are beneficial things and negative things. And you can create like custom potions by rolling on the table, and then it comes up with like a unique potion or something. I don't have it totally fleshed out, but I am playing around with that. So if like the origin of your question is that you don't like the potion system, then like I'm doing some stuff about potions, but not really like doing anything to change the system. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. But we'll just move on from there to another question. Man, I'm still hungry. Please refrain from swearing. Yes, thank you. Thank you, D-Dubs, holding down the fort. Yeah. I'm out of coffee now, too. Claire Willis says, what are some of your homebrew? I mean, I homebrew most of my adventures. Almost all of the adventures that I run are homebrewed. Like my Ancient Dragon campaign, you guys are all running stuff that I've made. My Sword Coast Guard group is running stuff that I've mostly made. I have taken a couple modules that I did not like. I was running Against the Giants for them from Tales from the Yawning Portal. And that module sucks. Not the whole book, but Against the Giants sucks. I cannot emphasize that enough. The Hill Giant Steading and the Ice Giant Glacier or whatever, we ran out of the literal book, and it was just, give me a break. We're not going to go there. The Fire Giant part, I'm like, I am not running the rest of this module, or this Against the Giants. I'm going to make the Fire Giant part myself, and that's going to be homebrew. So I don't know where that rant came from, but I create all my homebrew adventures. I dabble a little bit, creating some magic items and stuff. You know, I don't know. Yeah. I don't homebrew too much more than that. Mostly just the adventures. I don't really homebrew a whole lot of monsters and stuff like that. It's mostly adventures. I create my own adventures. That's my thing. That's what I like doing. I do not homebrew worlds. I use Forgotten Realms because, like, I think I've talked about this in streams before. I don't think players generally care a whole lot about the world. I think the adventure is the thing that makes everything. I think it's like if you look at like what people care about, what's most fun and what drives fun, my guess is that like 90% of it is the adventure that people are doing, you know, the missions, the quests and stuff that you're going on, and 10% might be the game world and the backdrop. But it's a backdrop. It's just a backdrop. I can take any adventure that I run and plop it into any world almost, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of the backdrop. That's how I've always kind of viewed it. So I don't homebrew worlds. It's too much work. It's way too much work for me. That said, lots of Dungeon Masters love that, and that's great. Rock on. It's just not for me personally. Any tips on running Ghosts from Salt Marsh, says Victor. So the first part of Ghosts of Salt Marsh, has adventures that go from like level 1 to 5 or so. But then I think it starts having gaps. So those gaps are really good places to put in your own little homebrew stuff if you want. Something that has to do with the player's backstory. Or it's an opportunity to let your players go do something that they find interesting to fill in those gaps. So I would take advantage of those gaps and do your own thing a little bit, or let your players kind of go do something fun, and then you make up a little adventure for them to do that they wanted to do that's based on some of their goals or something. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. Beyond that, I've read portions of it, but I've never run it before nor played it. So I don't think I have anything more than that for you, buddy. All right. We have a question from... So, moderators, if you would be so kind, I do want to make sure I get eyeballs on any of the questions that my members ask. It's important to me to answer the questions from my members. So if you could have a way of designating that in the spreadsheet, I would appreciate that, because I want to make sure I get eyeballs on those. So Julie says, other than railroading, what do you do if you've prepped 3 areas and your players go to area 4 and you aren't ready? I can do a fair bit of improv, but not a whole session's worth. Yeah, that's hard. So, like, prep enough that will get you through a session. You have to prep enough to get you through a session. Other than railroading, that's rough. Like seriously, like, what's your option? So, like, what are your options? If you prep like this adventure, okay, and your players are like, no, we're gonna go do X thing. Improv is really the only option at that point, or railroading. You call it railroading. I don't think it's railroading. I do not believe that creating an adventure and then the players going and just doing the adventure the DM prepared, I don't believe that's railroading. I believe that is part of the social contract that says, hello, I am your dungeon master. I spent a few hours creating an adventure for you that I prepared for you to run. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. Will you please respect the fact that I put a lot of time into that and run that adventure? I don't view that as railroading. I view that as part of the social contract of respect between dungeon master and players, whereby the players don't give the dungeon master the middle finger and go off and do whatever and ignore what the work that they put into the game. Railroading, in my opinion, is when there's an adventure and there is only one way to overcome the problems, the situations, and the scenarios in that adventure. If there's only one solution to it, I'm holding up my thumb. If there's only one solution to it, and if the players pick the wrong solution, the dungeon master's like, nope, that doesn't work. And the players are like, well, what about this? Nope, that doesn't work. What about this? Ah, that works, because that was the railroad that I created. That's the only one way for you to overcome that obstacle, to overcome that situation, that adventure. That, in my opinion, is railroading, and that feels horrible to the player. What I like to do is I create an adventure. I consider it to be a situation, and the players can approach it and overcome it in any variety of different ways. Now, I'm always going to roleplay it properly. You know, like if they talk their way past the guards at the front gate, get all the way to the boss at the middle of the dungeon, and the boss has all of his allies around him, and then the players totally screw up, then the whole dungeon might just come down on them, because that might be a thing. But there is the freedom to try to talk your way to the boss and maybe get to the boss, and then maybe you kill the boss and the guys around him, and then maybe you do get out of there. That's the type of freedom that makes your adventures feel like there's not railroading to it, but that you don't have your players going off nowhere. I don't think there's a good answer. Either you prepare a whole crap ton of stuff or you improv. Or you create something that when your players go off where you didn't plan for them, you take that one thing that you kind of have in your back pocket, and then you have that be the thing they run into. That's an option too, right? And there's also the concept of all roads lead to Rome as well. So if there's a dungeon here, and this is the concept. If there's and I don't necessarily think that I 100% agree with it, but it's an idea. If there's a dungeon here and the players go this way, you take the dungeon and you put it over here. That's the idea. It doesn't always work. It works really well on paper, but once you start to get into actual game mechanics, it may not work very well. but that's an idea. It may or may not work. I keep looking at this. I keep looking in my coffee cup and picking it up to drink it as though there's magically going to be more coffee in it, which is clearly not happening. Yeah. Ranwen says, don't skip trash, bad mojo. I mean, my players have gotten in trouble by skipping trash. Like when you leave enemy, one of my groups TPK'd when they left enemies behind them. They left enemies behind them, and they're just like, oh, I guess we took care of those guys. They ran off, and they just went on ahead, and they ended up getting sandwiched between the guys they didn't deal with, who are alive and who know they're there, and were coming after them, and then the guys in front, they got sandwiched and they got TPK'd because they left stuff alive behind them. It's just that's the way it worked. So you gotta play intelligently, and when you make mistakes like that, like I tend to not have a lot of mercy when my players make what I consider to be very strategically poor choices. I feel like that was a bad mistake. I don't feel the least bit mournful about TPKing you in this situation. There was the other TPK, the Sword Coast Guard TPK'd when they were going into a castle compound with a bunch of orcs in it. And they alerted a patrol out here. And the patrol sounded the alarm, and the entire castle was like alerted to their presence and were like on alert, the entire castle. And my players like slipped past a bunch of patrols, were sneaking into the castle, and then they got all the way into the castle. The entire castle is alerted to their presence and are looking for them. And then they got into a fight in the castle. And then those people in the castle sounded the alarm of, hello, we found them, come help us. And then pretty much wave after wave of orcs and other nasties were coming down on them. And they bit it big time. But again, I feel that was like a strategic error. You know, the whole place was alerted looking for them. What they should have done maybe is just like hoofed it and laid low for a day, let the alert die down, and then come back and try again, you know. So, all right, Joseph, hello, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Joseph says, a PC's backstory is him killing his researchers. The big bad is a mix of his team and sister called Chimera. He was brought back and thinks he is perfect, and I don't know how he would interact with that PC, who also views himself as perfect. Whoa, there's a lot in there. I'm going to have to reread that. Give me a second. Okay, so the big bad is the researchers that he killed and his sister called Chimera. And he was brought back and thinks he is perfect. Who's perfect? Who was brought back? Who does the pronoun he refer to? He was brought back and thinks he is perfect. Who is that? Is that a PC's? The PC thinks he's perfect? I'm getting confused by the pronouns. Can you clarify? Could you clarify in the chat, Joseph, about who you're referring to? That would help me a lot, and then I could probably help answer your question. Now I'm like waiting. I'm like, you gotta clarify. I don't know what you mean, but you like super chatted me $25, so I feel kind of like I need to give you a decent answer here. And if I don't understand the question, it's hard for me to answer that. So you got two people who think they're perfect. I mean, you almost feel like they're both gonna be like, if you run into somebody else who also views himself as perfect, I think you're gonna be butting heads a little bit. You know, it's hard for me to answer your question without knowing who your pronouns refer to. Okay, here we go. Joseph says, to clarify, the PC is cursed. If you use names, that would help me understand who you're talking about. The pronouns are, I'm getting confused over the pronouns and who they refer to. To clarify, the PC is cursed with experiencing the far realms, and his mind is fractured into 3 parts. Wow, you're getting deep. The problem is the big bad is also part of his team and sister. I don't know how a mix of people reacts. I don't know either, dude. That's got to be messed up. I have no idea. Man. I don't know what to say. You're breaking my brain, man. You're totally breaking my brain right now. I don't know. I have no idea. Chat, help him. I don't know. How's he gonna react? Let's brainstorm some ideas. Chat, let's brainstorm some ideas for Joseph. How would his character react to that? The big bad is brought back by a demon. I don't know how your player is going to react to it. If he's doing, I don't know. I have no idea. Somebody's got to help me. I'm sorry, Joseph. I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. And I feel bad now because you threw me a bunch of money. I just don't know how to answer that. Now I'm sweating. It's breaking my brain. I'm sorry. I don't know how to answer that. I'm just going to, hopefully the chat can help you. I really don't know how to answer that. And you just threw me a lot of money. I feel really bad. Tell you what, Joseph, do this. Joseph, go to my Discord and send me a DM and let's work it out. Okay? Send me a private message in Discord and we'll work it out. Okay? We'll talk about it. Let's do that. How about we do that, man? I just don't know how to answer you off the bat. Something I got to think about, you know? Yeah, Huber. Yeah, Huber's right. He's like, that situation sounds too complex for the 200 character limit of this chat. Take it to Discord. Yeah. Hit me up on Discord, Joseph, and I will help you out. Let's do that. Because I want to make sure you feel like you got your money's worth. And so far, I feel like a failure. So hit me in Discord, and we will work this out, man. I will help you. All right, let's do that. Let's go on to the next question. All right. Zenushi Plays says, how do you handle food and rations? I usually ignore it. Do you enforce eating or living costs? Nope. Most DMs just ignore it, I find. Yep, I agree. I'm one of them. I feel like unless you're running a gritty, realistic game where that stuff is really important, like maybe like a Dark Sun or something like that, then that isn't super interesting to me. It feels like bean counting. It doesn't seem very fun. So I usually ignore that stuff. Yeah, I focus on doing stuff that's fun in my games. How do you send a private message on Discord? You do. Google that stuff, man. I bet somebody's written something about how to do that. Rick Cooper. I hate it. I hate it when somebody asks a question and gives me a bunch of money and then I don't have an answer. I feel really bad. So, yeah, that like messes with my mojo. All right, Rick Cooper says, would you use a hierarchy system for the villain? What does that mean? Such as if the prince of the big bad is killed, someone might take his place or take out generals to disrupt planning. Yeah, I think that sounds fine. Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. Like if there's a hierarchy for the big bad and there are generals and stuff like that, and the generals start getting taken out, the big bad might put more people in place or something, and he might also start going after the characters and attacking them once he finds out that they are taking out his organization. All right, Reaper says, when you have a campaign you are designing to extend over level 20, mine, for example, is going to level 50 before they retire, how do you plan monsters and big bads for such a high level? I don't. I do not plan beyond level 20. And most groups, my understanding, never even make it to 10. You know? I would not plan that far in advance. If I were planning on taking something all the way to level 50, dude, I would probably maybe have a super big bad at that level, and then I would have other mini big bads. Like, there's a big bad that governs levels 1 to 20, and then there's a big bad that governs levels like 21 to 30. I might break it apart, and then each of those big bads has like hierarchies of people below him that like people are gonna fight and stuff. I would break it apart a little bit. I don't think I would plan a whole lot. I would plan, like, if I wanted to go to level 20, I would plan very little. It would be like bare bones planning, because I'm thinking like the chances of us ever actually getting there are so small that I want to make sure I plan as little as possible as to not like waste work. I want to know just enough to run the game, and put, what's the minimum viable product of my planning and effort to like make this happen. And then once we start getting further along and it's like, oh, hey, we're level 30 now, this might actually happen, then I'll start fleshing things out more. That's probably what I would do. That's how I'd do it. Philip Ketchup says, do you have any tips for creating an escape dungeon one-shot adventure? I can clarify if you need it. An escape dungeon? Like, I have lots of tips for one-shots. I have a video about running one-shots. It's kind of old, but you might find it helpful. Yeah, clarify, what does escape dungeon mean? What do you mean by escape dungeon? Reaper says you're on year 11, multiple arcs. Yes, basically, yeah. Reaper, what I'm suggesting is multiple arcs. You would have multiple arcs that the players are going through. And even simultaneous ones that overlap each other. I do that a lot too. You're on year 11. Oh, that is so cool, man. Well, I mean, if you guys are on year 11 and you're going strong, then you can flesh things out more with confidence. But I think what I said still kind of holds. Just break it apart into different arcs and stuff. Yeah, but that's really cool that you last that long, dude. Yeah, I'm getting to the end of the spreadsheet, so now I'm gonna start answering all the questions I skipped over. Bewitched Gamer says, how do you incorporate a cloaker that you want to stay attached to one of your PCs and then make him sound crazy? So if I'm the dungeon master and I want to do that with one of my players, I would conspire with the player and figure out a way to make that happen and have that person role play it. I think that's how I would do that. But it's only going to work if the DM and the player conspire, because a cloaker is an evil, murderous creature. So it's probably going to try to kill that player rather than work with him. So that's a thought. Wow, Reaper has 5 people that have been playing with him for 11 years. That is really cool, man. Yeah, the player has to buy into it. The player definitely has to buy into the idea of the cloaker. The cloaker is super cute, like a dog. Nice. All right, we're doing a little bit more Q&A, and then we're going to get into creating our villains. We're going to do our villain creation in just a little bit. So if you got any other really good questions, now's the time to sneak those in. Tutorial Dropout says, I'll be running a murder mystery campaign. I remember last time I played a murder mystery, we spent way too long on crime scenes. How do I move my player when they find all the clues? So if they're on a scene and they find all the clues and they're just sitting there and digging at it, if that's a problem and they don't want to move on because they're too afraid they're going to find something, I might do something very metagamey, such as, you guys, each scene you come to has 2 clues. That's it. And once you find them, that's all. And then you can move on. Now, that's very metagamey. However, you need to balance metagaming like that with fun. How much fun is it not to tell them that and let them sit there at the same scene for 2 hours in the game when you know there's nothing more to be found? So there's a balance between realism and like role playing, and also like maybe metagaming a little bit and giving them information so that the game is fun and they know that it's time to move on to the next scene. So I might consider something like that. Roman Orc says, when making adventures, how much do you actually plan versus actually improvise on the spot? Is it like 50-50? That's probably not a bad estimation, dude. I plan a lot, but I also improvise a lot. And I think that if you want to do like a minimalistic planning, then think about yourself and your abilities and your skills and what are the things that you're good at and what are the things you're bad at. The things that you don't want to improvise, those are the things you plan. The things that you feel comfortable improvising, those are the things that you improvise. For instance, if you give me a map, like a dungeon map, and you tell me what monsters are in those rooms, and I know mostly what their motivation is, I can run that dungeon. with nothing more. And I want to know what the purpose of the rooms is. Tell me that this is a kitchen with an ogre in it. I can do that right now, because I just improvise the rest of it. Or you tell me that this is a barracks and there are 5 sleeping goblins. Done. I can run that. I don't need any more information. I can improvise the description. I can improvise stuff that they find in the chests or something. I might want you to tell me the loot. Give me the loot. Tell me what loot is going to be in the dungeon too. The rest of that stuff I can improvise. I can make up voices. I can make up reactions. I can make up descriptions. That's the stuff that I know that I can do. And so plan the things that you don't want to improvise, and then the things you feel comfortable improvising, just don't plan those things, and you just make them up. That is the minimalistic way to create an adventure. Nick says, what about villains that use the clone spell to continuously harass or bug the party? That's a thing. I had a villain once that used the clone spell, and I think she had multiple clones or something. And it was actually part of the adventure hook that they had to do a specific certain things to prevent her. They couldn't just go, this is what they had to do. They couldn't just go kill the villain. They had to go find all of her clones that she had hidden away and take out their clones, and then track the villain down and take her out. But there was a time limit because she was going to find out that they were tracking down her clones. And so they had to do it very quickly. They couldn't take their time about it. They had to do it all, really quick. So that's cool. I've used that before. Mr. Pages says, for improv purposes, do you find it helpful to pre-prepare NPCs? There are definitely, when I have NPCs, I know their names, generally. I know their race, and I know why they are where they are. Like, if they're in a dungeon, there are 4 dwarves that were captured, and they were spies, and that's all I need to know. More other NPCs I might flesh out a little bit more. I tend not to flesh out a whole lot for NPCs, to be honest with you, because you never know which NPCs your players are actually going to like and which NPCs are going to flop and you're never going to use again. So I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into preparing an NPC that my players are never going to use, But if I have an NPC like Gary the Intern that they love, then, now I'm going to think about it a little bit more for the next game session so I know more about Gary. Actually, there's nothing to know about Gary. Gary is pretty much brain dead. Rick Cooper says, how would you add a doppelganger to a campaign without your PCs losing all trust in every nod? I want them to be nervous but not stop trusting everyone. You can't do it very often. You need to have a game, a pattern or a history of NPCs that aren't just like a time bomb that's going to screw them over. If you have most of your NPCs are trustable, but every so often there's an NPC that's actually a bad guy or a doppelganger or something like that, that's fine. But if every single NPC is somebody that's going to mess them up and screw them over, or if every single NPC quest giver happens to be the actual bad guy, if you use things like that too much, your players are going to anticipate it and expect it. So when you want to do clever things like those, the trick to being clever is not being clever too much. Because when you're clever like that too much, especially when it's the same cleverness, it ceases to become clever. And it becomes predictable. And then players will not trust any of your NPCs and stuff like that. So moderation and rarity is the key to making stuff like that work, I think. Mr. Morton says, I want to run a Hitman adventure for my players. How should I do that? A Hitman adventure? So your players are hitmen, where they just have to go kill people. Honestly, that sounds like a normal D&D adventure, dude. If there's one person they have to track down and find, I would just plan out where they're going to track him down and find him, and then that place is the dungeon. So if they're going to find him in an inn or a tavern, well, that's the dungeon. I'm going to plan that out. That's the encounter. That's where everything happens. And then they're going to have to get into that place. They're going to have to take out the target.
and then they're going to have to leave without everybody knowing. Or they're going to wait for him to go home at night, and then he's going through an alley, and then they jump him or something. So, I don't know. I think I would do something like that. I would just think it through. You might end up doing some improvisation if you don't anticipate. Like, if you plan on them doing the hit job in the tavern, but they're like, whoa, we're not doing it there. We're going to wait for him to leave and go home at night and jump him in an alley. And you didn't plan for that. You're going to have to do some improv. So, like, I can see that sort of adventure being reliant on you improvising things based upon what your players do. I hope that helps. Steve Christian says, I'm a DM of moderate experience. I'm about to do a game for 9, 12, and 3 adult gamers. I don't know what that means. You lost me in your numbers. Mostly family. Are they age? Okay. I think what you're saying is one of them is 9 years old, one is 12 years old, and then there are 3 of them that are adults. Okay, I think I got it. They're mostly family. Any suggestions? My idea is to tie in some fictional NPCs that the kids might relate to. Yeah, I think that would be fine. Things that they would relate to. It's gonna be a little bit tough because things that appeal to kids aren't necessarily gonna appeal to the adults. I know when I run groups for kids, so like the girls in my youngling group like to talk to things a lot, and the boys in my youngling group like to murder everything. So I would provide a mix of social interaction scenes, make sure there's some combat in there. I don't know that I would do anything different for a game like that than I would for my normal games. I would probably just do my thing, and then I would observe them, and I would see what they like and what they don't like. And then, based upon my observations, I would adjust things to make sure that I'm putting into my game things that the players enjoy. But that's something that I probably do for all of my games, you know? So I think that's pretty much standard modus operandus or MO or whatever you want to call that for that. So I don't know if that helps, but those are my thoughts. Joshua Solt, what up, dude? Says, what's your input on a story where the party is inadvertently assisting the villain? That's cool. That is cool. I love that crap. They don't know they're helping him. They go on quests for him, but there's subtle hints the party can find and decipher to realize he is evil. That's cool. I like that. You know? I wouldn't have every single quest necessarily be for the villain. Maybe, you know, but in general, I think that's a really cool idea, especially if you've never done that for that particular group. Like, if you do it once and then at the end of the campaign, they're like, oh, we've been helping the villain the whole time. That's horse crap. Now we're going to murder him. That's cool the first time you do it, right? You just don't want to, like, constantly do it all the time, you know? But I think that's a really cool idea. That's really cool. Did I answer your question? That's my input. My input is that that's really cool and that I would do that. Julie says, do you have tips on a cheat sheet for common rules? My players unfortunately know more than I do, and I have a feeling that a lot of time I will be stealthily doing Control F on my DM guide. You just got to learn the rules. You got to learn the rules. I would be reading the rules. Like when I first started DMing 5th edition, I was reading the rule books a lot. I was studying the rules and I was learning them. The thing though is too that just reading the rule books and studying them isn't going to fix them in your brain super well. A lot of knowing the rules comes from just doing it, and then they kind of get in your brain the more you use them. So I don't have a real good tip for you except to say I would be frank with your players and be like, hey guys, I'm a new dungeon master. I kind of feel like a lot of you guys know the rules better than I do. So if I'm making a mistake on a rule, it's okay for you guys to tell me, hey, this is how it works. I'm okay with that. Because like as a dungeon master, I want to follow the rules. But because I'm still learning it, I might need your guys' help. And so that's the conversation I would have with my players, I think. And I think it's okay for you to say that. And I think it's okay for there to be this communal agreement that we're all going to help everybody play by the rules, you know. I would do something like that. And then just study, read the books in your off time, you know. That's what I would do. I would also focus on studying the rules that come up the most. Because there are lots of rules that you never come across. Why bother learning those? You know, focus on the ones that happen all the time. Combat happens all the time. So learn the rules of combat, you know? That's what I would say. All right. Are you guys ready for the villain creation? Are we ready to go? Are we good? Oh, wait, Philip had a clarification. Okay, Philip, let me see. What was Philip's clarification? He had a question and the escape dungeon. What was Philip's clarification on the escape dungeon, moderators? I need to see that. I didn't see it, Philip. It's okay for you to repost it, Philip, if you want to copy paste it for me. I'm really hungry. I'm so hungry right now. I need some food. Yeah, after we handle Philip Ketchup, Mr. Ketchup, we're going to do some villain creation. Hey, Ninja Theory Ash Rams. Hey, what up, dude? Good to see you again, man. All right, I don't know. Ketchup isn't posting it. Ketchup, I need your help, man. All right, well, I think what we're going to do then, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to move into villain creation at this point. So, yeah, we're going to create some villains together. It's going to be fun and all that good stuff. What we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, yeah, type faster. Philip's using an iPad. So if you're using an iPad, the way to copy is just put your finger on the screen and hold it down on the screen. And then you're going to get like a little thing that you can drag around the stuff. And then a little pop-up should be there. You can click copy. And then you can go to the text box and hold your finger down again. And then at least that's how it usually works. But it might not work on YouTube. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to take an intermission break. I'm going to go use the bathroom again. And when we come back, we are going to be doing villain creation. All right, creating some D&D villains together. When we're done creating these D&D villains, everything that we create is going to be available for download for you guys. I'm going to put it, there'll be a download down in the description here on YouTube. And I'm also going to put it over on my site, thedmlayer.com, so that the rest of the D&D community can get and use all the stuff that we create. So, yeah, we're going to go to intermission, and then we're going to rock and roll from there. So let me find my intermission stuff. Play some music. That's the first step. And then go to, yeah, Melkor. You gotta subscribe, dude. You gotta. Hold on a second. I never say this in my videos, except for my old ones, and I hated that crap. But like, hey guys, remember, click the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of more videos. I don't say that stuff in my videos. I don't like that crap. Yeah. Hey, there we go. We subscribed. Woo! Make sure you ring the bell. All right, guys, I'm going to intermission now. I had enough fun making fun of people who say that stuff, which is a lot of people. I just offended lots of people. Sorry. Intermission time.
Okay, let me turn the music off. I think we're ready to go. Are we ready? Creating some villains together? This is going to be fun. So, what are we saying? Whoa. So, just so you guys know, this is like this is the disclaimer. All of the villains that we create together, I am going to publish. I'm going to make it available for people to download, both here on YouTube and over on my site. It's a free download, but I want everyone to be aware that like I am going to be providing all the stuff that we come up with available for free to people. Just so you're aware of that. If you like don't want your ideas to be published and shared with people for free, then don't share them. I just want to make sure we're aware of this because it's actually a thing now. I have been told that it is a thing that people on Reddit will post a D&D story and then also say, I do not give permission for this to be made into a video or something. Because apparently there are D&D channels that what they do is they go to Reddit and they take somebody's story and they just read it. And that's the thing. So just be aware that I'm going to make what we create available to people so they can all benefit from it as well. So that's a thing. Clearly what I'm doing is different than people who do what I just described, but anyway, whatever. Oh, that's Squirty Pie. Let's go to the cat cam. Squirty Pie. This is my cat Squirty Pie. She decided she needs some attention. Now Squirty Pie actually is one of my cats that might fit in that box halfway decently. But so far, none of my cats have decided to go into that box. Yeah. She's adorable. She's addicted. She needs attention. Villain idea. A tabaxi that is Luke's cat. Yeah. Squirty. She's going crazy. All right. So I have let me get something going on here. We are going to create some villains. We're not just going to spend the whole stream looking at my cat. I promise you. I'm going to pull up my document here. And then I'm going to show you my screen. Stand by. Give me 1 second here. I want to get my screen prepared. I want to make sure I don't have anything incriminating that I'm going to be showing anybody. Squirty Pie agrees. All right, this is the template that we're going to be using to create our villains tonight. There are a few different things here I want to kind of call out to this. We have a name. We have some basic information here. All of this stuff right here. She is just going nuts. Just put it right there. There we go. So all of this stuff right here. Oh, that's a great shot. Oh, that is a good shot. Right in the camera. Oh, that's awesome. All right, get down. That's inappropriate for a live stream. All of this stuff right here is basically out of the Dungeon Master Guide for an NPC creation. These are different things you want to consider when you're creating an NPC. Now, that's for any NPC. Cat butt. Yes, Squirty Pie gets worked up. When she gets worked up and she needs attention, this is what she does. She just comes here. No. So this is a brand new chair, and she wants to get it all clawed up. No, she's not clawing my chair up. I have a chair that's destroyed by cats. Now the thing that's a little bit unique to villains that we want to make sure we're doing here is these three things right here: motivation, means, and method. The motivation is like the scheme or goal of the villain. What is the villain trying to do? What are they motivated to do? What do they want to do? The means, how are they going about doing that? No, I'm sorry. That's method. Method is how are they going about doing it? And then means is how can they do it? Like, if my method is taking over, like, conquering cities, if that's my method, I need to have a way to do that. How can I conquer cities? Oh, I have an army. I have an army of orcs. Okay, that's my means. Okay? No, Squirty. No. No. She's like taking over the live stream. So that's the basic explanation of how that works. The motivation, the means, and the method. And this might actually be backwards. We might actually want to determine the method first. Anyway, that's the basic explanation of how my template works. There's nothing fancy about it. It's very, very simple. And now is where we start brainstorming ideas for this. Rivers RPG, hello. Baoban! Hey, Baoban, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Baoban is in my Ancient Dragons campaign game. He's one of my patrons. We're playing tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be fun. The only thing keeping cats from taking over the world is nap time. That is so true, Melchior. Kitty. All right, so let's start brainstorming ideas, guys. Give me some ideas for a villain. Let's do a motivation. Let's start with motivation. What's the villain want to do? Like, what's the villain's goal? What evil deed is the villain up to? Let's start with brainstorming that stuff right there. Evil, and this is where I'm relying on you, because I'm not creating these ideas. I want you all to give the ideas for this stuff, because I'm tired. I don't want to work tonight. Oh, Zenashushi Plays contributed ideas. Where are they, dude? Oh, here we go. He says motivation. They want to continue to amass power. Okay, got some stuff up there. The political means. Let's do one thing at a time. Motivation. I'm looking for ideas for motivation. Here's the thing too. I'm going to pick one idea and we're going to roll with it. And then when we get to the next villain, you're welcome to recycle ideas. When we get to the next villain. Wants to control a kingdom, okay? Rule the world. Joshua found your clarification. Where's your clarification? I'll catch up. Hit me up on Discord, catch up, and we'll take care of your question, okay? Hit me up on Discord, man, and we'll take care of you. I just don't want to. We're in the middle of brainstorming motivations right now. A harem of the most beautiful medians. I don't know what that means. Give me a verb and a predicate in there, and then we'll rock and roll. That's my English teacher speak right there. To spread a religion. Okay. Get revenge on a minor deity. Okay, we're doing that one. Okay, fire has the answer for this villain. So the motivation is to get revenge on a minor deity. Okay, how? Now we're doing a method. Brainstorm a method. And also I want to know what creature this is. What kind of creature is this? Is this a human? Is this a giant? Is this a dragon? Like, what creature are we dealing with? And then I want to know how they plan on getting revenge on a minor deity. A drow, an elder brain. Ooh. Okay, elder brain. We're going with... I just picked fire's another thing from fire. Elder brain sounded really cool, though. So we're going to go with elder brain. Elder brains, what's their alignment? They're typically evil. I feel like an elder brain is lawful good, right? I'm not sure. Somebody can look that up and correct me. But how is an elder brain is basically the ruler of an enclave of mind flayers or illithids. So how is an elder brain going to get revenge on a minor deity? And how are they going to go about doing it? Like, what are they going to use to get it as well?
Philip Ketchup. Yeah, you got to get Discord, man. You got to join me on Discord. Join me on Discord. There's a link down below. It's easy, man.
Oh, lawful evil. I put lawful good. I said one thing and I wrote another.
Ooh, that's cool. You get revenge on the deity. So Arthur says, getting revenge on the deity by usurping its church and ruining its fellowship from the inside.
I love it. That's great. Okay, cool. Man, everything's bolding when it shouldn't. Ah! Okay. What's the means? How is it doing this? Like, how is it usurping its church and ruining its fellowship? What is it using to do this? Like, an elder brain is going to have mind flayers, but how else could he go about doing this? A little bit of Gary showed up right there.
Hey, that's not very nice. I'm gonna take away your moderator wrench if you make fun of Gary.
Doppelgangers. Slave minds of humans. It can use its thralls. Okay, it can have thralls. So it has thralls. Come on, unbold. Thralls. What if it has intellect devourers? Plants intellect devourers in the minds of the deity's faithful. So we could say thralls and intellect devourers in the minds of the deity's faithful lead the other faithful of the deity astray. There you go. That could be the ploy right there. You can plant thralls and intellect devourers that lead the flock astray, basically. Totally mess with them. There you go. You usurp the church and you ruin the fellowship. There you go. We have it. We have a motivation, we have a means, we have a method. Excellent. I think that's good. We don't have to spend like tons of time fleshing out every idea. The idea of what we're going for, you guys, I think, is to just get some basic ideas about a villain and then call it a day and then move on and create another idea. Because the idea is that dungeon masters can take this little nugget of information and then expand on it and make more with it, you know? Yeah, you set up a church in the deity's name and corrupt through the anti-sermons. Absolutely, Julie. Absolutely. Ooh, Volo's Guide says that certain colonies know how to make thralls and retain memories of their former. Yep, fire. That's cool. Oh, yes, villain name. We need to have a villain name. You guys, let's brainstorm a name. I think appearance doesn't matter. We know what an elder brain looks like. The voice, I don't care about that. So some of this stuff, I'm not sure I really care about for a villain, for this villain in particular. I think we should do a flaw or a secret. Let's think of a secret. I want to brainstorm a name. I don't know if I care about these things. For that villain, for this villain, let's just call it a day. Let's get a name, and then let's get a flaw or a secret. And let's call it a day. I think that's enough information for this villain. Brainy boy. Okay, nice. So, Sarah Thevalin the Omniscient, Elder Warlock says. Gorathon the Elder Brain. Agaroth the Well-Mannered. Do not give it a name. Just use a random large sequence of letters. Oh, that's funny, Gabriel. Ooh. D-Dub says the secret could be that it's an offspring of the deity it wants revenge against. The Elder Brain is somehow an offspring of the deity. Oh, that is interesting. This Ender Warlock says the secret is it hates violence to its pet cats. Nice. Ooh. I like that. Okay, I just picked the name. Cthulhu has the name for us. Oops, stuff is moving. Hold on a second. I don't know how to pronounce that, Cthulhu, but I'm going to pick your name. So, that's the name. Auth, the unspeakable. That's the name. And then the flaw or secret. I kind of like the idea that it's an offspring of the deity it wants revenge against. I kind of like that. That seems pretty cool to me. We're going to go with that. Thanks, D-dubs. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's our villain. All right, Ketchup has Discord now. Awesome. Hit me up over there with a private message, Ketchup, and we'll talk. I'm going to have like 50 people sending me private messages now. Like, no, your name's not Ketchup. All right, next villain. We're going to keep cranking them out, you guys. The idea here is to just crank these bad boys out. So that way Dungeon Masters have lots of ideas that they can create adventures with. So give me some, hold on. Where's my, I need to insert. And I'm going to insert my villain template. Boom, there it is. All right, so next villain. Let's do it a little bit differently this time. Let's imagine, what kind of creature is it? What kind of creature are we going to have for our next villain? Who's our next villain going to be? I want a creature type. We don't always have to brainstorm the same things in the same order. It might be interesting to do it in different orders, because then what we pick for one thing might inform our decision for another. A hill giant, an orc, a drow, a madrin. Ooh, a madrin. I'm going with that. Blake, I'm going to go with Blake's idea for a madrin. So I'm gonna see if I can pull up a madrin real quick here. Hold on a second. Where is this? So I want these things here, and then I want this guy. Where is that? Right there. And then rule books and the monster manual. Come on, baby. You can do it. And then we're gonna look up madrin. The M's. So madrins are like these mephits, merfolk. Come on, baby. Mind flayers. Ooh, there's mind flayers. Okay, so madrins are these lawful, neutral, like, beings. What plane are they from? They live on the plane of Mechanus. Okay, they're like servants. They're like these really cool, interesting creatures. If you're not familiar with madrins. They're like absolute law and order, hierarchy, law. Everything is about following the laws, and they live on like a different plane of existence. They don't live on the prime material plane. They're on Mechanus. So these are really interesting, cool things. So having one of these as a villain is an interesting concept. So let's roll with this. So, I think let's just do lawful neutral. Let's roll with that. And now, what I want to skip to for this guy is I want to brainstorm what the flaw or secret is. And then we're going to see if the flaw or secret can inform what this villain is doing. So what secret does this madrin have, or what flaw does it have? So give me some ideas for that stuff. So Razul, resources are the means. The means are basically resources. That's what I mean by that. Like, what the means are, what resources the villain has available. Do I have followers? Do I have monsters? Do I have lots of money? Do I have lots of political influence? That's what I mean by that. But yeah, it's meant to mean the same thing. I just like it because it's 3 M's. Motivation, the means, and the method. It makes it easy to remember that. For me, at least. Ooh. It believes the order of Mechanus must change to serve the lesser madrins. That's interesting. Too obsessed with the law. Flaw. Dislikes getting wet. That's cool. Was set to enforce an old code. Oh, he wants to enforce an old code of law. Ooh, that's interesting. It does the opposite of what it is told. Faulty programming that can be exploited. That sounds cool. Cthulhu says, I'm back. My name got used. Yes, Cthulhu. We used something from you. Yeah, your name got used. Yes. Huffle says he's actually a former primus who was corrupted and demoted. What's a primus? Is a primus like a higher level Modron? Is that what that is? I'm not super familiar with these things. Is that a different type of Modron? He actually hates laws. Okay, I'm gonna do that one. Batata, you got it, man. He actually hates laws. That's interesting. Okay, so this guy's flaw is that it actually hates laws. Okay, cool. So you have a Modron who is lawful neutral and it hates laws. Okay, now, what is its motivation? What is its scheme or its plot? What is the bad thing or what is the thing that it's doing that is going to introduce conflict into the game world? What is it up to? Brainstorm. Yeah, we're making Modrons. Modrons is not shameful. How often do Modrons get used in games? I've never used a Modron in my games. So, that's why I picked it. So its motivation is to get rid of all laws? Could be. It wants to corrupt the place with laws. A logic area. It turns into a communist. All right, Tashio. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. We'll see you, man. Wait, Huffles says, it creates laws that actually contradict each other, causing chaos. Ooh. That sounds like, oh, man. That sounds interesting. So that sounds like a method. That's actually a method. I like that. It creates, so I think its motivation is to get rid of law. I think its motivation is what Box Gamer says, to get rid of all laws. To get rid of all laws. Okay, so we have a Modron that actually hates laws. It wants to create laws that actually contradict with each other, which causes chaos. I missed the last part of that. And it wants to get rid of all laws. So what is its means? How is it able to create laws that contradict each other? What ability, how can it do that? It has to have a resource or something that allows it to do that. Otherwise, there's a very lawful world in place that's going to prevent it from doing that. So how does it go about doing that? Reprogramming other Modrons. Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay. I like it. He could use a Gias, minor reality warping, underwater pen of law inscription. Okay. That's a cool idea. Jay Huffman. Jay Huffman, you've been here since almost the beginning, and we still haven't determined if it's the J stands for Jack or John or Jill or Jimmy or it's just Jay. Which is fine, man. You don't got to tell us your first name. I think what was the one that somebody said? He's reprogramming other Modrons. So he has he is reprogramming, has the knowledge and skills to reprogram other Modrons in positions of authority who can create laws. There we go. So then he's reprogramming them,
they're creating laws that contradict each other, which creates chaos, which ultimately might get rid of all laws. All right, that's interesting. Do we need any of this stuff? Do we need this stuff? His appearance? What is funky about him? Let's talk about something that's really weird about his behavior or his mannerisms. Something that might be interesting. Let's put something there. Let's put something there. That is, yeah, Julie, you're right. That's a horrifying ability in a civilization of AI. Totally. You know, it's interesting, Julie, because you're a member now, your name shows up in green to me. Like, all the members' names are in green, which means that, I see everything you write. Like, in a wall of people writing, all of your stuff jumps out to me because you get a special color because you became a member, which I guess that's an advantage. His voice lags every few seconds. He speaks like Yoda. He temporarily malfunctions if he hears anything lawful. Ah. I think he has malfunctions in his speech whenever lawful activities are mentioned or taking place around him. And we'll say it's like an allergic. How do you spell allergic? I got it. Woo! It's like an allergic reaction. I don't know. Something like that. Something like that. Short-term memory loss. Say no to grammar law. Okay, allergic. I think I got it. I think that's enough. That's enough to... Oh, a name. We need a name for him. What is his name? Name Armadrin. Name Armadrin. This is how Modrins talk. Very robotic. Oh, Cthulhu. Bingo. Cthulhu's got it. Bib bop bop. Oh, that's a cool one. I'm gonna go with Gabriel's. I think Cthulhu and Gabriel have it. They're giving him numbers. The chat needs to stop scrolling so I can copy what you wrote. Giving him a number as a name, I think is the way to go for this, because we're talking about a construct, kind of a robotish type thing. So, Unit 06934. That is the name of our villain. What kind of Modron is he? You guys, what kind of Modron? So we have this little guy right here, a monodrone. He's like a little wussy boy. And then you have bigger, badder ones. You have a duodron, a tridron. These are all kind of really wussy boys. They're all kind of quadron and a pentadron. Quadrone. What is the difference between these guys? Is this like a hierarchy or something? Yeah, that's like their hierarchy. Should this be a guy at the top? I almost feel like this should be a guy at the top. Yes, they have serial numbers, totally. I feel like this should be like a pentadrone. Whoops. We're going to call it a pentadrone. Nice. Excellent. No, Primus I think is the leader of Mechanus. Primus is like the deity on that plane, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is. It's not going to be Primus himself. His number should be a prime number. Is that a prime number? We are not going to do that exercise right now. We're not going to do that exercise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like that's probably good enough. We don't have to flesh out all of that stuff. We could, but why? Let's create another villain. So let's start with copying my thingy. Come on, Luke. You can use your brain. You can figure this out. Where's my villain template? There we go. Villain template. Let's start with a voice. How does this we're moving on to a new villain. How does this, what's special about the way this villain talks? I want something about this villain. We're not always going to brainstorm in order. We're going to maybe start at different places and see where that takes us. He slurs. He can't talk. He can't talk. He can only speak telepathically. You know what? I like that. Voice. He can't talk. Can only speak telepathically. Okay, cool. I like it. Let's pick a talent. What is this villain really good at? What is his talent? This could be mundane. This could be something very powerful. But what is his talent? Let's do a talent for this guy. He talks in rhymes all the time, unlike a mime. Yeah, I mean, that would be really hard for the Dungeon Master, though. to run a villain who only talks in rhymes. That would be super challenging. Poor Dungeon Master. He's great with people. He plays the flute. He likes to sing. Manipulation, juggling, public speaking. Ooh, I like that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Well, public speaking. Mind crushing. Whoa! Lots of ideas here. He's a good sword fighter, juggling, menu plating. He's very talented in magic. He's a good cusser. He's a good cusser? Oh, that's okay, I'm picking that one. So Spacetonium, his ability, his talent is he's a good cusser. Sailors have nothing on this guy. All right, cool. I like it. We're going to run with that. He could be a ghost of profanity. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I think we just chose our creature type. He is a ghost of profanity. Nice. I like where this is heading. Okay, that's good. Now we know it's a ghost, and it can't talk. It speaks telepathically, and it's really good at cussing. So what is its motivation? What is the bad thing that's trying to do, or what is the thing that's introducing conflict into the game world? What is it trying to do that the heroes are going to try to stop or something? Yes, a ghost of profanity. Well, he cusses telepathically, Mr. Moorton. He cusses telepathically. A guy who died because of his disgusting mouth. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to put that down in the notes. Died as a result of his disgusting cussing and vocabulary. I don't know the details behind that, but that's interesting. I like that. That led to his death somehow. He got into a bar fight and died. So he wants a voice in the world by taking it over. He wants to corrupt youths by cursing as much as it corrupt the young minds, disgrace the queen. He had to speak properly all its life, so now it influences everyone it meets to cuss uncontrollably. He curses at people who... So, return to the living world. Raise an undead army. Insult everyone in alphabetical order. Feels lonely, so wants to kill everyone. Teaches kids cuss words. It's manipulate. You know what? I kind of like the idea where it just
wants to influence people to use profanity. What if it's doing that? What if it's ooh. What if it does this? What if it is able, it could be its means. Oh crap, I just created a new document. That did not help me. So what if it has the power to turn living creatures into undead if it can get them to cuss enough. That's it. So that's its power, right? So it's influencing people to cuss more. So that's its method, okay? It influences maybe it's going after children. Maybe it's going after impressionable children. It influences young children to cuss and use bad words so that they become undead. That's all right. Okay, how's that for an idea? That's interesting. And that's what it's trying to do. So it is trying to. So why is it doing that? Yeah, why is it doing that? Like what is its ultimate goal? There should be some sort of like ultimate goal that it's trying to achieve by doing this. Not just to create an army of children that are undead, but there has to be some sort of goal that it's going after as part of this. What is its goal? What is its goal? Besides just growing an army of people that cuss. Let's get something a little more like, interesting, creative and stuff. He enjoys a land of disgusting, filthy mouths. Yeah, possibly. He feels lonely because he's only a ghost. Disrupt organized society. Oh, there you go. Okay, I think Generous Heel has the idea. If it can make enough people cuss, the ghost can pass on to paradise. I like that idea. That's cool. Motivation. The ghost can only pass on from its undead state and rest in the afterlife if it can convert enough other people to undeath. That is poorly worded. Like, the writer in me is dying right now. But that at least communicates the idea. Let us say that it was cursed by... Who's the deity of the undead? What's the deity in the Forgotten Realms of the undead? It's like a devil or something? A demon? Is it a demon? Who am I thinking of? There's like a deity or a demon prince or a devil that is Orcus. Thank you, Orcus. That was the name I was going for, Orcus. I'm like, nah. It was cursed by Orcus. Yeah. Why was it cursed by Orcus? What did this ghost do to get cursed by Orcus to do this? Like, obviously Orcus wants more undead, so this kind of whole thing turns out in Orcus's favor. But what did this ghost do to get cursed by Orcus? That's the question. He's a demon prince. Okay, cool. Thanks, Huffles. What did this guy do? That's the question. He cussed at Orcus. He cussed at Orcus in his own temple. There you go. I think that's it. He died as a result of cussing at Orcus himself while in a temple of Orcus.
we could say that he was a follower of Orcus, even, who died. There we go. I think that's good. As a result, Orcus cursed him. Bam. That's pretty good. I think I like that. He called his mom ugly. Yeah, Dead Willow. There you go. You're ugly. Your mama's so ugly. We're just going to open up a bunch of mama jokes right now. Jason, if that's how you feel, yeah. We're making cheesy villains that can only be used in a BS game of D&D. Sure. I think it's pretty interesting, though. And that was your question at the very beginning. Are we making cheesy ones or serious ones? These may not appeal to everybody, and that is fair. All right, we need a name. Name! What is the name of this ghost? Your mother is ugly, Orcus. Your point? That's funny. Yeah, moderators, like, I'm noticing that lots of comments are getting flagged for review that have absolutely nothing wrong in them. So please approve those when you see those. It seems like YouTube is flagging lots of stuff that there's nothing wrong with these comments, and it's just like, that's subject to review. Sorkle the filthy-mouthed. Sir Bluestreak of profanity. Your mama's so stupid she gave you the bottom of shoes when you asked for souls. Oh, nice. That's a good one, dude. I think I like that one. I think I like where was that? YouTube is flagging comments. YouTube is flagging comments are relative randomness. Yeah, it's really random. Where was that one? There was one, somebody had that filthy mouthed one. Sorkle the filthy mouthed. I think that's a pretty good one. D-dubs. We'll go with that one. All right. Whoops. Excellent. All right, like it. All right, another villain. We're moving on to another villain. Let me post in my quick part. And let's make this villain a human. Let's make this one a human. I'm just going to predetermine that one right there. It is a human. What is this human trying to do in the world? What is this human's goal? What is he bringing? What conflict is he bringing into the world? What is he trying to do? I'm so hungry. A chicken with an attitude? A human who is a former paladin, okay? Yeah, Cthulhu, let's do it. Let's make this villain serious. I mean, Jason has a point. He does have a point. Making silly villains is fun and humorous, but if they're villains that are so silly that they're unusable in a game, that's not doing a service to folks who might want to use these. So let's do a serious one now. I like the idea of a former paladin. It might be one of those paladins, the evil paladins. What do they call those? There's a name for those. What do they call those paladins? Let's make it a paladin, but there's a name for those. I forget what those are called. Somebody's got a Oathbreaker. Thank you, Oathbreaker paladin. Let's do an Oathbreaker paladin. So, human, Oathbreaker paladin. All right, cool. So, what is he trying to do then? Like, and the other question is like, why did he break his oath? How did he break his oath? I think that's a legitimate question that we should answer. A blackguard. Yeah, blackguard's that's a good one too. It's a fallen paladin, destroy a monarch, tries to bring the... I'm looking for something interesting. Something interesting. A former paladin that now believes he needs to fight evil with evil. I like that. That's a good trait. So we're going to call that... that's like a character trait. Ability is a talent, an ideal. Let's say that could be its ideal. So he thinks that he needs to fight evil with evil. So he is still fighting evil, but he is fighting evil with evil. We need to flesh that out. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? How is he doing that? And like, what does that mean? We got to flesh that out. I mean, that's a good concept. That's a good concept, but we still don't have conflict in the world. We still don't have him doing something bad. We need him doing an evil thing to fight evil, but that's a problem, and the heroes are going to have to stop him from doing it for some reason. I need some ideas for that. Gaining power with evil rituals, but like, what's he doing? What's he doing in the game world? What's he doing in the game world? Yeah, he could use demons and devil packs to smite evil. Okay, that's a means. Okay, that's the means. But what is he doing in the game world? The villain has to be doing something that is introducing conflict into the game world that the adventurers are going to have to stop. If you don't have that, you don't have a villain. You have a cool idea, but you don't actually have a villain. Because there's no reason to interact with him. He's killing farmers to cut off food to corrupt landowners. Okay? He's forced recruitment, enslaving people. Why is he enslaving people? What's the point? No, Finn, he is not eating cute cats. That's too evil. That is too evil for us to put in here. He's poisoning Girl Scout cookies. No! He's killing humans to give souls to demons. Okay, good. That's okay. We're fleshing that out. All right. So, but why? Why? Why does he need demons? Like, what is it? Okay, he's making an undead army, but why? If he's fighting evil with evil, I'm still looking for a reason. I don't think we have a reason for this guy. He's murdering people who are hypocrites. He's corrupting other paladins. But why? Why? Why is he doing this stuff? I don't have a motivation for this guy. I don't, like... He's trying to disrupt a tyrannical government. Okay. That's actually a motivation. Okay. So this is something that he wants to do. I'm going to pick this one. So that I'm not sure. Why? We're going to go with that. Okay, so he is trying to disrupt a tyrannical government. Got it. That is his motivation. That's what he wants to do in the game world. So he's trying to disrupt a tyrannical government. And so to do that, he is sacrificing innocent human souls to devils as part of a pact with them to get to get devils that help him. There you go. So he's trying to disrupt a tyrannical government, and he's sacrificing innocent human souls to devils as part of a pact to get devils that help him. Now, what is he doing with these devils to disrupt this tyrannical government?
That's the method. Like, is he just sending armies of devils against the armies of this government? Is he sending them to assassinate the leaders? So now we gotta figure out what he's actually doing, how he's going about doing this. And then we're gonna have, I feel like, a villain, that works. Assassination. His husband was killed by clergy, claiming to be lawful good. All right. Slaughtering. Uses imps to drive the leaders mad. Mind control. Theft and destruction of their money. Ooh, interesting. There's a lot of ideas there. Wiping out populations of the government. Mind control. Interesting. Or succubuses or something. That's interesting. Yeah. Use a smart plan. Subversion, then the army conquest. Devils that mask themselves as leaders of the government. Ooh. Nice. Okay. All right. So, I think we got a lot of ideas. We have lots of different things that he could be doing. So, his method is using devils to corrupt or subvert government leadership. He could also use shape-shifting devils to assassinate and then replace government leaders. He could use mind-controlling devils such as succubi to influence government leaders. So we got lots of things going on. Succubi, is that spelled right? That might be spelled right. I don't know. Okay, so we got this stuff going on. So lots of subversion. So it's not an outward devil invasion. It's doing that sort of stuff. Like you start at the top, the leadership. You're taking out the leadership. Okay, cool. All right, we got some ideas there. Good job, Cat. Where's Good Job Cat come from? What's that? Make it appear that the government is summoning the devils. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. And then we'll say, then, if it surfaces that there are devils about, he makes it seem as though the government is behind it in a ploy to make the populace rise up against them. Okay, so this is good. What I like about this is that we don't just have getting a devil army and then attacking and killing people. We have something a little bit more complex, a little bit deeper, that the players now we have a villain that is worthy of a little campaign and some adventures that the players have to figure out what the heck is going on and stop this guy. Okay? So this I like. I think we have it. Succubi or demon. You know what? I think succubi can be either devils or demons. I believe they can be both. And if they can't, then as the dungeon master, as the collective dungeon masters who just created this villain, we have made them devils as well. All right, cool. I think we're good on this one. Hey, Tidus, I don't even know how to say your name. Tidus PT. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. They're just fiends. Yeah, but every fiend, I mean, there's still a distinction between demons and devils. Their creature type is fiend for game mechanic purposes, but we still distinguish between devils and demons. They're still two different things. Oh yeah, we got to name him. Let's name him. Let's not worry about all of that other stuff there. But let's give him a name. What is the name? I feel like we got to put this on a new page too.
What is the name of this paladin oathbreaker? What's the name? Sir Penitentious of Droll? Tor the Oathless? Telekara? Arthas, something or other? Hee Arthas, hee Ooh, I like that one. Encow Silverheart. Because the Silverheart, the irony. I like that. Maximilian the Just. Thanks for subscribing. Atanol6173. You know what? We're going to go with that one. We're going to go with the Silverheart one. Where was that? That was Ender Warlock. Thank you for the name. We're going to use your name. I keep doing the same thing. All right. Encow Silverheart is the name of our Oathbreaker Paladin. How many villains have we created? We've been doing this about an hour, and we've gotten through 1, 2, 3, 4 villains. Whee! All right, we need to create some more. Let's keep going. Let me insert this villain. Oh, jeez, where is it? Oh, my stuff is freezing. Ah! It crashed. It crashed. How much did I lose? What a piece of junk. Okay, it's all there. It's all there. We're good. We're good. Let's try to do this again. I'm like it crashed. How much did we lose? Where's my villain template? There we go. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Whew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're gonna do now. I need to go use the bathroom again. Huh? That's what happens when you drink too much coffee. So I'm gonna put some music on, some nice, beautiful music. I want to put the intermission screen on. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, and then when I get back, we will continue doing this. So yeah, let's do that. We'll create some more villains. We got like another hour to go. We're gonna get some more villains done. All right, there we go. We're back. That's the problem when you like are really hungry and don't have anything in your stomach. When you drink liquids, it goes right through you. And who is challenging me on washing my hands? Yes, I washed my hands. Somebody's like, remember to wash your hands. I was like, all right, man, all right. Oh, the music mentioned soul draining? Oh, cool. That's awesome. Hey, ES, thanks for subbing. All right, let's see. We need to come up with another villain. So let's brainstorm some motivations. What is some bad stuff that people can be up to for a villain? Thanks, Finn, for subscribing as well. Appreciate that. Philip, you don't believe I wash my hands? I totally wash my hands, dude. Like, absolutely, totally wash my hands, man. Promise. He wants to collect treasure. Oh, you told your friends about me? Oh, thanks, Finn. Appreciate that, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just wanting to amass treasure. Getting rich is a classic scheme. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. Art thieves. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Theft for stealing's sake. Oh, just wants to steal art. Oh, yes. That's a good idea. So the motivation, is a collector of art and wants to increase their collection by any means necessary. All right. Cool. There you go. So we have a thief. We have somebody who just wants to amass tons of artwork. That's the motivation. So that's the thing they're doing in the game world that's going to introduce conflict. How? Like, what is this person doing? And this is the method. What is this person doing to get all of this artwork that is creating a conflict? Now, stealing it. Oh, okay, that could be a thing. But let's get deeper than that. Let's get more creative than that. What is this person doing? Oh, sorry. I'm not showing you the right screen. Yes, you can see the document. Sorry. I do that sometimes. I change the screen, then I forget about it. We see nothing. Sorry, Huffles. Sorry! Jumping through the ethereal plane. Ooh, that's a means. So that's a means. That's something that this person can do, is able to travel through the ethereal plane. So that's an ability that this thing has that's going to make it easier to steal stuff. Okay, cool. More ideas. Stealing money to commission artwork, heist, seduction. Well, that's okay, Finn. You don't got to be a member, dude. If you don't got money, that's cool. You just hang out, you comment, you contribute to the community, dude, and we're good. But I appreciate the what do you want to call it? The sentiment or the desire? Where am I at? We're talking about the method. Like, how is this person going about doing this? Ooh, I like that idea. Mr. Biochronic says forcing world-renowned artists to create art for him, enslaving them. I like that idea. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So, okay, so is kidnapping world-renowned artists and holding them captive in a demiplane. So that's like a pocket dimension where they are forced to create art to increase its collection. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. I like it. Okay, so like, how is it kidnapping them? Like, how is it able to kidnap them? Maybe it would help to define what this creature is. Is this just a human? Is it a wizard? They can travel through the ethereal plane. Like, it might help to try to think about what this is and how is it able to kidnap them? Like, what powers does it have? Or what strengths or abilities? Does it have an army? Does it have people that work for him or something? Like, so how is it going about doing this? We got some good ideas here. We gotta flesh this out some more. A night hag. Yeah, night hags traditionally capture souls. How? That's not a bad idea though. A night hag. Let's make it a night hag. I kind of like that. What's the alignment of a night hag traditionally? I know it's evil. It's probably like chaotic evil. So, so we could say that. So the night hag wants to capture souls and stuff. That's what night hags do. But this night hag happens to be a collector of art. And night hags can travel in the ethereal plane. I'm pretty sure night hags can do that. And so that makes sense. So is able to travel through the ethereal plane. And we could also say, and has, we'll just say a small army of what kind of fae? What kind of fae would a night hag have as a small army? Like meanlocks or sprites or something? Like, not a big army, but just a small group of them, that do her bidding. And it looks like a night hag is neutral evil. She has some fae working for her that will kind of help capture these artists and then make sure they're working and creating art. Darklings. Yes, darklings. That's good. We're going to use darklings. Those are good ones. Has a small army of darklings that help kidnap the artists. Excellent. I like it. Okay, cool. I think we have the idea of the villain mapped out. And what I like about this sort of villain also, you guys, is that it's like, it's not like super cliched and predictable necessarily. There's something unique about it. There's something interesting about it, So I think that's really cool. We need a name. Name the villain. And let's make a flaw or secret as well. So let's give a name and let's also create a flaw or secret for the villain. I want there to be a flaw or secret. Something interesting about this villain that we can put in here. Ooh, Patricia Foul Eye. That's pretty cool. I like that one. That's a good idea, Huffles. Night Stalker, Joe Mama. No. Patricia Foul Eye. I think I'm going with Patricia Foul Eye. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, now we need a flaw or a secret. A flaw or a secret. Patricia Foul Eye. Let's call her Granny. Isn't there there's a bunch of so if you go into Volo's, while you guys are thinking about a flaw or secret, I'm going to pull up Volo's Guide to Monsters. Because there's actually titles that hags have. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Let's pull this up. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it! Jeez. So stupid. Open. I'm double clicking on it and it just wants to change the name. I'm like, I don't want you to change the name. I want you to actually open this thing so that I can look at it, not just change the name. Okay, monster lore. Let's go to hags. And they have titles. Hags have titles. Okay, here's the titles. So we have auntie. So we could say, what was it? What was it again? Patricia Fowl-Eye. Auntie Patricia Fowl-Eye, cackling, dismal, dread, driftwood. Granny, old, rotten. Yeah, let's go with rotten. I think rotten sounds like a cool title to have as a nag game. So we're going to say Rotten Patricia Fowl-Eye. That's the name of the hag. Sweet. Unable to keep her plans to herself. Flaw. She likes one pretty thing, and that's art. Yeah, we've established that. He's about to rage against the machine. Well, it's like the file is right there, and I'm double clicking it, and that's supposed to open it, and I'm like double clicking it some more, and instead of opening it, it's like editing the name of the file. It's like, I don't want to edit the name of the file. I want you to open the file. By the way, it always does that for me for these PDFs. Always does that. Flaw. She can't stand portraits of her true ugly self. Ooh. Okay. She can't say no to a pretty face. That's interesting. It's extremely self-conscious about self. I think she can't stand portraits of any ugliness. Or what about portraits of anything beautiful? Like a portrait of any beautiful person. Can't stand a realistic... Yeah, but what if we do that? What if we say... Can't stand portraits of beautiful people. Because it reminds her of her own haggard appearance. Oh, it doesn't remind her, but it makes her jealous or something like that. Yeah, we'll say it makes her jealous or something. I don't know. Whatever. That's the general idea. She's a woman driver? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Okay. Are we good? I think we're good. Shouldn't there be a resistance against her? Yeah, sure. That's the characters, the players are gonna like try to stop her. She's never satisfied with whatever her artists create. Oh, that's interesting. And she's a perfectionist who's never satisfied with what her artists create. She's a true slave driver. All right, guys, let us call it a day. We have a villain. We have a name to this villain. I think that's cool. Let's do another one. Next. Quick part. NPC template. Oh, that's the wrong one. I need the villain template. There we go. Okay, villain template. Beautiful. What do you want to start with? What should we start with this time? What part do we start with? Let's pick a creature type. Let's start with picking the type of creature this is going to be. We want to pick the type of creature. Pick the type of creature. Ooh, hag vehicles. Hag vehicles are cool. There's lots of cool stuff in Volo's Guide to Monsters, you guys, for hags and other creatures as well. Lots of good lore in there. A spider, a kobold, a pirate ship itself. A sentient pirate ship. Okay, let's do it. A sentient pirate ship. So the first question I have about our villain, did I spell that right? I think I spelled that right. How did it become sentient? We need to know. How did this pirate ship become sentient? Animate objects gone wrong. That's actually not a bad idea, dude. Huh. That is interesting. Let's say that this This pirate ship was created when a wizard... I just pushed a bunch of wrong keys. When a wizard was casting animate object on a chest that was actually a mimic while on board a sailing, on board a ship, yeah. So there was like some crazy snafu. Something went horribly wrong, and the ship itself was infused with the intellect of the mimic. There we go. I don't know. So now you have a ship that is sentient. Okay, cool. I like it. What is this ship trying to do in the world? Like, what is going on? We need some ideas around this ship. A mutiny, false crew, like, what is it? Dad jokes. A ship could hunt down other vessels. So it's just hunting down other ships. Why? Why would it be hunting down other ships? Mimics are kind of dumb. Yeah, they're probably pretty dumb. But it has some intelligence, right? It's hungry. Oh, it's hungry. And it wants to eat other ships. Oh, that's interesting. It consumes ships. That's its food. Yeah. And it can't eat them. Oh, nice. It wants to... Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just hungry. So its motivation. Its motivation is that it's hungry. It's hungry. It hunts down other ships on the sea, destroying them, but is unable to eat them in any way due to its new form. So we'll say, as a former mimic, it's hungry. Is that it? So it's just basically, it's hungry, it's trying to hunt down the other ships and destroy them, but it's unable to eat them in any way due to its new form. Okay, that could work. I think that could work. So like Finn is saying, what are the ship's defenses? I'm also wondering how it is destroying the other ships. So it's just one ship. It's not a mimic anymore. It's a ship. Does it need a crew or something? How is it going to destroy other ships? I am assuming it could ram them, but it would hurt itself. Like, if it's ramming other ships, it would be taking damage too. So maybe it needs something different. What horrible existence, like that story, I have no mouth and I must scream. It has a crew of mimics. It should have a false crew. The ship it was could have been a pirate vessel. Maybe. Yeah. It's crewed by the crews of its victims. It has a mouth. So it has a pirate. It has a crew of pirates. Why? Okay, so let's roll with it. Let's say that it has a crew of pirates. How and why? Why would a crew of pirates want to, like, help this sentient ship? And do the pirates know the ship is sentient? Let's pretend that the pirates,
Let's pretend that it has a crew of pirates that know the ship is sentient. Why are those pirates helping it destroy other vessels? So it has a crew of pirates working for it that know it's sentient. Okay? Cool. Ideas. Only the captain knows it's sentient. The booty! I mean, that's what pirates are for. Yeah. They get the treasure off the ships that the mimic ship sinks. I think that's reasonable. I think that's totally reasonable. That's what motivates pirates. They want the booty. The booty. They want the booty. Okay, so it has a crew of pirates working for it. So basically, the means. So it has a, it has a crew of pirates on it. The captain knows the ship is sentient and has an arrangement with it. The ship helps them track down other ships. They destroy them. The pirates get the booty, the booty, the loot, get the loot, and the sentient ship can attempt to consume what's left of the... Well, no, you know what? Would it make more sense that it's able to consume them? I think it makes more sense that it's able to consume them. I think it needs to be able to eat the other ships. It has to be able to eat them. If it can't eat them, then it's going to stop doing it because it doesn't help it at all. So I think it can eat them. I don't think it makes sense not to. So the ship helps them track down other ships. They destroy them. The pirates get the loot, and the sentient ship eats the remains of the ship, of the other ship. Okay, how's that? And it can eat the other crews. It could eat the other crews. That's possible too. The remains of the other ship and its crew. Yep, that'll work. Oh, that's interesting. How would it hide that from the crew? William, that is a great idea. How would this ship and the captain hide that from the rest of the crew? I don't know. That's a really good question. How about we let the Dungeon Master figure that out? We can just wash our hands of that. It's shark-shaped, tentacles under the water. Ooh, it all happens underwater. Yeah, that's what it has. Let's add that on there. So I don't. That could be. That's the means and the method are kind of the same, but we could say that. Yeah. We could say the ship has tentacles. Well, I think that mimics usually have what we call pseudopods, right? Pseudopods under the water. We'll say several pseudopods and a mouth on its bottom side. The hull? I don't know. On its bottom side under the water that it uses to eat, thus keeping the entire crew from knowing about it. There we go. That's pretty cool. How
How about a name for this ship? How about a name for this ship? You probably don't need to hide it from the crew. Actually, you know what, you guys? I feel like this is the sort of thing that a pirate crew would love to be on a ship. And this would help the captain recruit people for him as they die and get killed. Like, we ride a ship that is a living mimic, you know? But what's the name for this? I think they should know about it. We'll say the captain and crew know the ship is sentient and have an arrangement with it. I think they know about it. I think the crew would be prideful to be on a ship like that. All right. This is really the method and means all in one. I feel like we got both of them in there. The Deep Maw. That's a cool name. The Devil's Seahorse. That's cool. The Hungry Hippo. The Howling Oppressor. The Endeavor. Grax the Shipwrecker. The Sunken Hunger. Ooh, the Sunken Hunger. Ooh, something with hunger. That sounds cool. USS Gluttony. That's cool. Devil's Seahorse. Dude, you can't just keep repeating the same thing, man. Roman Williams, thanks for subscribing, buddy. Appreciate that. What was it? The Deep Maw. Oh, man. There's a lot of good names there. The Devil Express. Mimic the Waves. The Ever Hungry. The Ravenous Kraken. Huh. You know what? I kind of like the Deep Maw. I think that's cool. We're going to go with the Deep Maw. There we go. The Deep Maw. Something with hunger could be really cool. Lots of good names there. There's no definitive winner. There's lots of really cool names there. I'm going to tell you, though, when you post your name like 5 different times and I see you posting it 5 different times, that makes me inclined not to pick the name. I'm just letting you know. Post it once, baby. The Devouring Hunger. Ooh, that's good too. I kind of wanted to... Huffles wants to copy all the names for Kraken monsters. Yeah, that's cool. Ravenous Deeps. That's a really good idea. Copy those all for... Yeah. The Hungering Tide. All right, cool. I'm so hungry. We're talking about... Want some food. All right. Oh, don't want to lose that. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's a really good idea. That's a cool idea for a little adventure. That would be really fun. So the players have to go fix that crap. Nice. They fight the crew and they got to fight the ship as well. No. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Let's do one more. This might be our last villain, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting kind of tired and I'm hungry, so I think we're going to do one more villain and then we're going to call it a night. D-dubs, not to gloat, but I just ate while watching. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to eat while doing a live stream. It doesn't usually work super, super well. I get my necklace. My necklace is all twisted around. Woo, 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 cat cam. Look at that. You caught Squeaky. What was Squeaky doing over there? He had his nose in his butt. What the heck? Oh, here. Oh, he's just going to scratch himself. So far, nobody has gone in the box. Like, nobody has gone in that box. I cannot believe they won't go in that box. Oh, what's he doing? He was looking at that box. He was so looking at that box. Oh, I can't do another live stream tomorrow, man. Like, I can do like one live stream a week, Finn. That's all I got in me. I got lots of other work I got to do too. There's a lot of work involved in running a YouTube channel. I got to script videos, I got to film videos, I got to edit videos, you know. And then there's like
like there's like the adventures that I create over on DriveThruRPG. I create free D&D adventures for people over on my website, thedmlayer.com. I'm working on a Kickstarter, an adventure about like fae and hags and cool stuff like that so lots of different stuff that I'm working on. So that limits my time to be able to do live streams. Oh, I'm AG Silver Radio. I'm gonna get some supper, dude. I'm gonna get some food. David Smith, what up, dude? How you doing? Okay, let's keep. Oh, is Reaper leaving? Hey, Reaper. See you later. Overclocked. Hey, what up? Yeah, we're still going, dude. We're gonna do we gotta do what do you want to call it? One more. We're gonna do one more villain. Oh, there's a cat fight about to break out. You guys, check this out. They're about to start fighting. This is how it begins. It always begins with Squirty Pie biting Squeaky's neck. Oh, you're still here, Reaper? Okay, cool. See, this is how it begins. They're being all friendly. Squirty Pie is biting his neck. Oh, I'm gonna lick you a little bit. But they're gonna start fighting in a moment. Just wait. These are the warning signs. Hold on, I want to see this. Overclock. Hold on. We gotta watch the cat fight real quick here. This is like the highlight of my night. All my nights involve cats killing each other. I swear, right now they are licking each other, but they're gonna start attacking each other any moment. Come on, don't disappoint me. It's like I don't want to do anything else because this is going to be so entertaining when this begins. They're just going to start attacking each other. We've created quite a few villains, overclocked. Oh yeah, we should do a review of all the villains at the end or something. Well, remember when these will all be available for download as well. See, there they go. There they go. They're starting. Going in for the kill. So this is a D&D live stream, but I just want to watch my cats fight. They love each other. They're not going to hurt each other. Guapo. Well, this is Guapo right here. Guapo is getting pet down here. You know what? They're taking their sweet time. All right. We're gonna wait until they start crying. Let's keep making some villains, and then we'll wait. When they start crying out in pain, I'll go to the cat cam for you. But let's make one more villain here. This is what we've created so far. And these will all be available for download when we're done as well. So let's put in a villain template right here. Okay, cool. Where are we going to start? All right, we need another villain. What ideas you guys got for a villain? Just throw some ideas out. We'll go from there. Guapo for the last villain. Ooh, nice. A player class villain. Could be. A Tabaxi. Guapo. This is Guapo. Oh, yeah. Aboleth. A sentient tail. A treant. Jim the Skeleton. Natalie, what is it with you and Jim the Skeleton? I mean, I think you sent me a photo of Jim the Skeleton once. A Bone Devil, Guapo the Tabaxi, two souls sharing the same body in constant conflict. Interesting. A Succubus, a Greedy King, a Dracula Chicken, El Guapo, Tabaxi Overlord. I'm so tempted to do that. I want to do that. Guapo the Archdevil. All right. Ooh, that's interesting. A villain that kills people and takes their souls to feed their dying relative to stay alive.
That's a good idea. I think we're gonna do that one. That's a good idea. Chaos, good call. So that's the motivation and the method. So I wish I would not do that. That's two different things. So the motivation for this villain is the villain has a dying relative. What's the relative? Mother, son, daughter. Let's say, what about a wife? A dying wife. Yeah, a dying wife. So the villain has a dying... So the villain's wife is dying. And they are stealing souls to keep her alive. We'll just say he. Here we go. I told you. I know my cats. So that was one cat crying. And we'll see if they're going to continue. Come on. Oh, this is awesome. Cat fight. Well, they don't know that I'm watching them. They don't know that I have a cat cam. They just think I'm talking. The thing is that... Here's the thing, you guys. The reason this is so hilarious is that Squirty Pie is not even getting hurt. Squeaky is not doing anything to her. He's not doing anything, and she is acting like she's being killed. That's what makes this so hilarious. Like, he's not even hurting her. And she's just freaking out. So it's just hilarious. I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. We had our cat fight for the stream. I feel satisfied. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Okay, so we have a villain. The villain's wife is dying, and he is stealing souls to keep her alive. How? How does that help? Like, he has to have some sort of mechanism. He's stealing people's souls. How is he stealing people's souls? Yeah, I think a night hag makes sense. He uses a night hag's soul gem. I think that makes sense. Maybe he needs multiple souls. I don't know. Maybe he's turning into a lich. Yeah, it could be. All right, Arthur, see you later, buddy. He is using a night hag's soul bag to steal souls. Okay? That's fair. That his method, I think we've already determined his method. His motivation and method is kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Ooh, he hasn't perfected the passing of a soul, so he experiments on souls trying to save his wife. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, however, he hasn't perfected it and needs to keep stealing more and more souls to experiment Currently, he can siphon energy from the souls to keep her alive, but ultimately, he needs a permanent solution. Okay, something like that. I don't know. I feel like there's enough information there that a dungeon master can run with that and build on that and go places with that. What if you have an ally? He could have an ally. Who is he working with? A Kalashtar from Eberron. Okay, sure. He's a Kalashtar. I don't know what that is. It sounds familiar. It sounds very familiar, but I don't know exactly what that is. Gary the intern. He's working with Gary the intern. Any creature could work for this. This is an idea that could be used with any creature. Kalashtar is like a human with soul powers. Oh, okay, cool. Well, then I think that makes sense. Give him a bunch of flesh golems. Okay. Sweet. You guys all know a lot more about Eberron than I do. That's cool. All right, so what we're going to do. Okay, so yeah, he has a bunch of flesh golems you guys want. Okay, cool. He also has several flesh golems in his service. Cool. What is let's do a flaw. Let's do a flaw or a secret. I think that makes sense. And then we need, what's the alignment? What's the alignment? And we need a name. So, but don't do the name yet. Hold off on the name. Don't do the name. Let's figure out a flaw or a secret, and then its alignment. What's the method? Well, the method is this. I mean, whoa, I think we have the method up here. He wants to keep his wife alive, and he's stealing souls to do so. That's how he's doing it. That's his method. Chaotic evil? Is he evil? Is he really evil? He just wants to save his wife. Is that evil? What did Endar say? He caused his wife's deathly illness. Oh, man. Yes, that's good. So it's his fault, man. Yeah, that's really good. Stealing souls sounds evil to me. Yeah, William, you're probably right. Stealing souls probably is pretty evil. So we'll go with chaotic evil. Okay, cool. I like it. A good guy with wicked means. Yeah, but like, if you have good intentions, but you're using evil means to get there, that's a hard argument for not being evil. Like, what defines evil? Your actions, right? Is it your intentions or your actions that define you as good or evil? I don't know. That's a line. How do you make that determination? That is like a theological, philosophical question, I think. And I don't know that we're going to answer that question in the stream tonight. All right, name. Let's do a name. Philosophical. Yeah, that's a philosophical question. From my perspective, the Jedi are evil. Exactly. Yeah. Theandra the Cursed. Oh, that discussion came up in the tavern yesterday? Oh, that's interesting. Grimtooth Snapper. I'm looking for a cool Gary Grimbo. Cool name. Need a cool name. A name that jumps at me. Alignment could be lawful neutral, but his flaw is he's possessed by a ghost he encountered from his adventuring days. Interesting. All right, Huffman. See you later, buddy. We're about to end anyway. Yeah, no problem. That ghost ship is a cool idea, dude. He is a Kalashtar. Is his race? I don't know. What name? What? I gotta pick out a name. I gotta pick a name. I thought there was one up here. Fiandra. I like the name Fiandra. Piandra. I like Piandra. I don't know why, but that sounds interesting. Piandra. Calaba. Let's do that. Calaba. Piandra. How do you spell that? Cal-aba. Woo! Wee! Alright. Piandra Calaba is the name that we have. Cool. And we have a flower secret. We have this stuff right there. Bam. There we go. Alright, sweet. We got a bunch of adventure ideas. Good to go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're gonna end this tonight. So thanks for hanging out. This has been fun. Remember, I'll create this as a download for you guys. You can get that download in the link in the description down below, or you can get it on my site, thedmlair.com. There's also lots of other free adventures over there if you're interested in checking that stuff out. So, do you want to do a summary of everything we created? We could, sure. We created an elder brain that wants to get revenge on a deity. We created a Modron that is trying to destroy all the laws because he hates laws. We created a ghost of profanity that wants to make young children cuss and become undead because he was cursed by Orcus, and that's how he passes from the afterlife. We created a human oathbreaker paladin who wants to overthrow a tyrannical government by sacrificing innocent human souls to get devils to help him do so, to overthrow the government. And we have a hag who is collecting art, who is kidnapping artists and making them produce art for her. And we have a sentient pirate ship that just wants to eat food, and so it has an arrangement with a bunch of pirates. And then we have our Kalashtar we just created. So that is our summary. That's what we created tonight. So interesting ideas, I think, or all around. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'm going to get some food, and we're going to see each other probably next week. We'll probably have another live stream next week. I don't know what we're going to do. It'll be something fun, probably. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. It's been great. It's been fun. Whee! And we'll see you all next time around the place. So, later.